This is Open All Mics
from BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Also welcome to viewers on the BBC Scotland channel. You can also find us right now on iPlayer, and there is a link on the BBC Sports Scot website. Peter Grant, I'm going to come to you first of all, because we're about to experience something very, very special ahead of the action down at Rugby Park. A man, I'm sure you had an incredible relationship, being remembered there tonight. Two of his former clubs, Tommy Burns, on the day that marks 16 years since his passing. He was a special, special man.
Yes, Kenny, we're just going to a minute's silence now, pal, so I'll hold the mic here now. You can see the silence we've had from both supporters. Are giving a clap, actually. So both Kilmarnock and Celtic fans have been terrific. There was a tifo before the game, which was remarkable for a remarkable man. So you couldn't really put into words what he means to this football club. But forget that, the person he was as well. He was a special, special man. And I was blessed to know him, as many people were. So it'd be a fantastic occasion if Celtic could produce a victory and get a championship on the 16 years of his death. Obviously, the timing wasn't great, and as a young man taken away from us too early, but what a special night this would be if it could happen for him tonight, because I know he will be looking down with pride at that Celtic support, what they did for him there, and the Kelly supporters who were fantastic as well.
Yeah, it meant a lot to both clubs. A minute of applause there. I can see Derek McInnes there on a screen right now, all the players and the supporters. You can hear Chick Young getting involved in that. And again, you'll have many, many memories, Chick, of Tommy Burns.
Warm human being, Celtic man through and through, but I think in many ways he was respected by the Rangers supporters as well. Remember, Walter Smith carried the coffin at his funeral on McCoist as well, reaching across, and Walter Smith and him were great buddies. They served together at Scotland, of course. And I have to mention this, Kenny, his greatest friend in life was Jerry Collins, former Partick Thistle, well, manager at one point. Great buddies they were, best men for one another, and Jerry is in a tragic state. He's been fighting a tumour in his brain. It's been very bad. He's had a year of hell, and he's clinging on to life, and I thought about him today. I went to see Jerry last week, and he was still talking about Tommy, not in a great condition. They were very, very thoughtful, and it's fact they're going to be reunited very shortly. I have to say that, so I just wanted to mention Jerry, because Tommy and Jerry were the best of mates, best men, as I said, and it's absolutely tragic. I have great warm feelings for Tommy Burns. They achieved a humorous man, great singer, a great company, and a wry and dry sense of humour at times, and Peter's talked there what he must have been like as a teammate, and the rebirth that he gave to Kilmarnock at the time, which in turn set him up for the job at Celtic, and he was haunted a wee bit by Rangers and what they had. And remember, he talked about Andy Gorham at the time, but my goodness, if you talk about the personalities and the real human beings of Scottish football in my time, and it's a long time now, Kenny, I have to say that Tommy Burns, I'll remember with his charm, but very much importantly, I remember him with a smile, because he was an outstanding human being.
He certainly was. I'm glad you mentioned Jerry Collins. I've met him many times over the years. Chicken, he's very close to you. Again, another good man. Julie, we talk about Tommy Burns, and the guys mentioned that they're one of the few people that absolutely could unite the big clubs in Glasgow. Everyone had a Tommy Burns story. Everyone loved Tommy Burns.
Yeah, I think he was just the type of man who just get respect whatever room he went into. We were very fortunate as a family to be friends with the Burns family. Really fond memories of Tommy's time at Kilmarnock with my dad. So he just was a special man. He'll have been missed immensely by so many people, and nobody more so than the people that he lived with.
Yeah, I chat a fair bit with one of Tommy's sons, a lovely family, so very nice show of respect there. The memory of Tommy Burns, who passed away 16 years ago today. The game underway, just about a couple of minutes old. Are you expecting Peter Grant Celtic to go right for the kill early on here? But we have to remember that really struggled against Kelly this season.
Yes, well, Skills had to get a good header away there, and it dropped to Donnelly, who fired it over the bar. And I know Liam, they were teammates obviously at Fulham with Matt O'Reilly when I was there as their coach. and it dropped to him, and he's hit it ever so well, but he's hit it too high and handsome. But it lets Celtic know, don't give away throw-ins, don't give away set plays, because this Kilmarnock team live off it. But as I say, we see Maeda starts the way he usually does, 100 miles an hour. Celtic are now controlling the ball and moving it about well. So it's all set for a good game. They're in the box now, half a chance coming in, a great ball in, and it's great defending at the back post with Matty Kennedy. He's followed them right in at the back post, a great ball in. Alistair Johnson, Maeda got to the byline, Hattati, sorry, got to the byline and put a great ball in. But Matty Kennedy's done fantastically well to get back in well. First corner kick to Celtic.
7:30 start at Rugby Park. The other top flight games kick off at 7:45. All the action to come on Sports Sound. Billy Dodds is alongside myself, Julie Fleeting and Michael Stewart in the studio this evening. Billy, what has been the key to success for Derek McInnes against the big two actually this season, not just Celtic?
I think recruitment with players he's worked with before, to know where maybe it'll take the club to, especially after coming up for the Championship and then stabilising themselves in the Premier League last year and then getting the right type in, and now they've got fourth. Can he build in that? So there's no doubt his recruitment with players and personnel that he knew before would get his club to the place he wanted, and then he's just got to try and build in that. But it's hard when you finish fourth to get any better than that for Kilmarnock. Yeah, you can have a good cup run, you can maybe get into a final of a cup competition, but in the league it's asking a lot. Third, I know there's big clubs after that position, Hearts, Aberdeen, maybe even Hibs if they get it together, but it's tough. But he's set the bar now, but it's no doubt recruitment's got him to where he wanted to be.
Yeah, been a great season. I say we had a Kelly fan on the programme on Saturday. Really looking forward to his European adventure with the club. Michael, we got the team news from Kenny Miller and Paisley. Craig Gordon starts again. He captains the team this evening. Do you think this is a plan from Stephen Naismith to give him the best possible chance of making his way to the Euros?
Possibly, but I think Zander Clark was carrying a wee knock, the last wee while as well. But look, I mean, it's been a incredible, situation for Craig Gordon and for Hearts, with obviously him picking up a horrific injury, and then Zander Clark coming in and doing so well.
Goal!
Yes, Peter.
Adam Maeda scored a great ball across from Matt O'Reilly. Ida's right between the sticks, puts them one up. Kildare not happy because they've got a player down in the Celtic half. I don't think it was a free kick. I'm not saying that as a Celtic man. I thought they were claiming for handball actually. It was Robbie Dees and Maeda. He's used his strength, as Brendan Rodgers talked about before the game, but the referee's played on, the linesman was right at it. So unless they go to VAR, I don't see anything wrong with it, but O'Reilly does exceptionally well, puts it across for his right foot, Ida between the sticks, and taps it into the net. Fantastic start from Celtic, but I'll be interested to see if he takes any action here. I think he's going to go to VAR.
He's onside, but Dale McInnes isn't happy. I think there's allegation that maybe an elbow's been thrown as well. Don't know whether they'll go back and check it. They usually do.
They will, right back to the start of the attacking phase of play, won't they?
Yeah, Derek's just saying that it's a head knock. That's why he's obviously wanting the game stopped. We've not seen the instant, but he's indicating to the officials that it was a head knock. So that's why he's obviously upset.
Here we are.
That, I mean, look, for me, I can understand from Kilmarnock's perspective why they're not happy, but there's nothing in it. His arms up, and it's caught him on his nose. There's no great force or whatever, but sometimes you get bopped on the nose. It can be a wee bit uncomfortable, but look, understandable from Kelly's perspective. But I think it's probably the right call to let the game play on.
It's got a bit of claret,
mind you, in the modern game.
Yeah, you have to clarify it, Michael.
Well, the rules being what? I mean, he's not done anything that would constitute foul.
I'm
talking about a head knock.
So the game should be stopped with a head knock. But wasn't enough in that, Billy? No, but I'm not talking about whether there's an elbow and it's intentional. I'm talking about medically. If the rules are, if you've got a head knock, they can stop it instantly. Yeah. And he's got a bit of claret from his nose, as I say, so he's definitely been caught. Still waiting, Peter.
I'm still looking at it. It's just used his strength. To be fair, Robbie Dees is pulling him. So I think it's 100% the right decision. There's a good angle.
Right, Michael.
Yeah, I've got a perfect angle it now.
No, I mean, look, it's not
intentional.
It's not a foul. But if you go back to what Billy's talking about, just depends what way you want to look at it. Honestly, you know, some folk will see there's enough, you know, that it's a head knock.
Goals given.
Goal given. Goal given.
Goals given. Yes. Listen, there's absolutely no doubt it was a goal. Because I'm mixed where the incidents happened actually, but I've just seen it on the television there as well, and that's what clarified it first. If anything, Robbie Dees gets really tight, and he's still upright. And as Adam Meada's turn, I'm not sure if it's the back of his head actually. They're saying his hand, he's through his hand, but I'm not sure if it's the back of his head. Because Robbie's that tight on him.
I think it's his arm.
Is it his arm? Is it his
It
arm?
wasn't even an elbow though, Peter. It was just like a straight arm. He was trying to hold him off and just caught him with it. It wasn't
striker
intentional.
play, you would probably say. You'd say it's good striker play, really.
Yeah, it was really strong. He was just trying to hold him off. It was striker holding off the defender, but regardless of that, the ball from Matt O'Reilly was absolutely incredible. On his right foot, he bends it right in behind, in that area that's so difficult to defend between the goalkeeper and the back line. And it was an easy finish in the end, but it was all in the ball from Matt O'Reilly for me.
I agree with you, Julie. And the big thing with it is, what I like about Maeda, that's what he does exceptionally well. So as soon as he lays the ball off, his first thought is to get between the sticks. And any of the boys will tell you, the strikers, they've all played dodgy playing there. The first thing you have to do is get in that box, and that's exactly what he done. So the ball from Matt O'Reilly, you know he's got that quality, but Maeda knows, get in the stick, and I can put the ball in the back of the net. So fair play to the kid.
Mate, looking at Matt O'Reilly, Michael, not wishing him away, because we love having talent like this in Scottish football for Celtic fans enjoying what you've got, and there has got to be serious interest in him in the summer.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, absolutely. But you know, look, it goes back to the discussion we were having before. I'm of the view that Celtic need to go and spend, yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you go and spend bigger. That it's going to. You just need to be efficient with what you're doing, and also, England's not the only market. You know, there's other places that you can go and look to try to bring in talent that perhaps is just a little bit less in terms of an inflated price, but the quality's still there. That then comes down to the people that are recruiting and going and scouting, being on point and really knowing what they're looking for to try to get the best value.
And obviously they've done that before, Kenny, with Jota, but that could have been whether it was Celtic's recruitment team or Ange Postecoglou's recruitment team, so all depends the contacts there, but there's manners and means to nail your 2 or 3 that are going to be the defining players.
I want you all to rethink about this. I'll come to you throughout Open All Mic. So we mentioned earlier Fletcher Boyd, what a dream debut for him last weekend for Aberdeen, scoring on his debut. So I want your memories of your debut, your senior debut. What happened, the manager that brought you on, the game, the moment, the direct opponent, whatever you want to tell us about, just some memories from your debut in senior football. We'll get around the guys later on for that. Just want to come back on this, the goalkeeping situation for the Euros. Kenny Miller, you're in Paisley this evening. We have another start there for Craig Gordon. Would you be taking him if you were Steve Clarke?
Listen, it's been interesting. I've heard quite a few, I wouldn't say rumours, but suggestions that with this extra 3 players that added to the squad, that there's a potential that 4 goalkeepers could be gone. Again, Steve Clarke's got a decision to make. He's had Zander Clark, he's had Liam Kelly, and he's had Angus Gunn as the number 1 for a number of months now. And for me, it would be such. I've said it many a time, and I know Craig Gordon is an elite goalkeeper, and he has been over the course of his career, and a wonderful Scotland goalkeeper as well. I really believe it'd be so harsh on Zander Clark or Liam Kelly to be left out. And maybe that's where these kind of suggestions are coming from. Maybe Craig Gordon gets taken along with Zander Clark and Liam Kelly and Angus Gunn. So it's with Craig Gordon back to his best, there's no doubt he's a top goalkeeper, and he would add something to that squad, particularly because I don't think he'll displace Angus Gunn as the number 1, but if he was required, there's no doubt he's proven for over a number of years that he's got the quality just to step in easily.
Alan Preston, your thoughts on this?
Goal!
Yep, goal.
Goal for Celtic, Maeda. Fantastic play with Celtic. Good play with Hatate and Johnstone. Hatate plays a wonderful pass in between the full-back, centre-back. Johnstone gets to the byline, fires it across, and Maeda blasts into the back of the net. 2-0 Celtic.
I mean, that's just a brilliant play, isn't it?
It is, and it comes from a similar area. It's a ball across the face of goal from the right-hand side again, and Maeda just comes in with so much pace, manages to nick in there in front of the Kilmarnock defenders, and again, it's a wonderful ball. Celtic have just been moving the ball so quickly. Their movement off the ball is incredible. As the ball gets played into Alistair Johnstone, there's that area again between the goalkeeper and the defence, and Maeda's just first to react. He's hungrier than anyone else, and it's a brilliant finish again.
It certainly is. It's going to be a long night for Kelly at this rate, isn't it, Peter?
Well, the thing I'm looking at, Kenny, as I say, I think Derek's always had great success with Celtic with the three because they can match that space at the back for Celtic like to play in. It's interesting he went to the back four for me because if the full-backs do get pulled out, Riley's not live off these spaces and the overlapping full-backs on this occasion, because I've said that more about Celtic. I think the full-backs go underlap too many times, and I think when they go on the outside, Celtic create much more chances, and this has happened when they're playing this system here. Kilmarnock have got to sort that out, and it could be a long night for them. I don't see any way back from it, is it even as early as this?
Derek was not happy. It's Matty Kennedy just he's switching off. They're checking just to see if was perhaps maybe offside in the build-up, but yeah, Matty Kennedy just is in the left back area in the end, and he just ball watches.
Doesn't he? Just has a wee glance, Mikey, doesn't he? And it's too little, too late, because you know those dart runs are going to be made.
And the thing is, look, this is the areas where once you get to those positions, defending is nigh on impossible because they're facing their own goal. They're 4 or 5 yards out. That's the thing that is so key when you're playing against tight, compact defences, is that you're using those wide areas and getting in behind. If you play in front of the defence, it becomes easy for the teams like Kilmarnock that are well drilled. They just want it to be in front of them, and Celtic very quickly in this game, and it's through the speed and the tempo of what they're playing at, have managed to get in behind, and then it's curtains when that happens.
Joe, these words you've mentioned there, Billy, we were at Ibrox last night. I know it's a much changed Rangers team, but the difference for me is when you watch Celtic, particularly in recent weeks, the speed, the tempo, the movement, no other team can match that.
When they're at it, we're just looking, it was just onside. But they had that problem throughout the season, didn't they, where it was slow build-up, and that's what got them into trouble at times throughout the season. And you could say it's because the best players weren't there, but you've got to ask the players coming in, just keep that ball moving, get out your full-backs quick. If teams are playing with wing-backs against you, or back threes, then you can do them 2v1s in the wide areas. And if you move it quick, there's no recovery. But they were slow and pedestrian for a while, but as soon as they get their players back and they up it, they're the best team, aren't they? And they're proving that by getting the 2 early goals, and they can go and enjoy their night.
Much more like the Celtic with Saunders and Postecoglou. Alan Preston, just before we get to the early season, I know just kicked off there in Perth. We're speaking there about a man that you know well, Craig Gordon. Would you be taking him to the Euros? And what about the would you be taking 4 keepers, Alan?
I don't think we need 4, but I would rather we took an extra forward-thinking player. We don't have many to put around. Just ball into the box, really nervy here, I've got to say, and a big crowd, Kenny. But I would take Craig Gordon. There's the answer, but it's probably no surprise to you that I would take him.
No, I remember speaking a good few weeks ago when Ross County took a big support, Alan, to Pittodrie that day. What sort of travelling support is there this evening?
Very good. Yeah. Really good. And I've got to say, the St Johnstone fans have turned out in their numbers. Potentially, Jeff Brown's final game as the chairman. Obviously, if they make the playoffs, they'll have another one. But this could be his final game, and it's quite fitting. There's a real big crowd in the main stand and in the stand opposite. So good on them for turning up. And I was saying that to Jane, who's sitting next to me, Jane Lewis, and in adversity, fans turn up. It's mad, honestly. St Johnstone don't get big crowds, but this will be the biggest home support of the season, without a doubt.
Yeah, Alan was saying earlier on, he fancies whoever gets the job done tonight will be safe. Obviously, if Ross County do that, they will be safe tonight officially. But St Johnstone, if they can do that, it's in their own hands going into the final weekend of the season. All the coverage and sports on at the weekend. Yes.
Kenny, can I just, while you're talking about the Scotland squad there, just maybe throwing a name, I think will come an outside bet to get included. I think he's flown below the radar this year is young Max Johnstone, now playing at Sturm Graz. Remember, he was Young Player of the Year last year at Motherwell, got his move. And I know that the manager, Stevie Clarkson, will keep an eye on him, and I would have a wee outside bet that he will be included in the squad.
Yeah, it's
a right-sided area, but he's not been a regular, I don't think. He's played, but he's not been regular. But he's a right good player, and we're even to take as a squad player, because
there's an opportunity. That's the thing, isn't there?
We need a right-sider for somewhere.
Right,
okay. Short them, Billy,
Let's continue around the grounds. Let's get to Paisley. St Mirren at home to Hearts. What's happening in the early stages, Kenny Miller?
Yeah, tough to say. St Mirren have started the better. Yeah, Hearts barely been out of their defensive half. A little bit of good play for St Mirren there led to the first real opportunity. Keanu Bacchus feeding the ball through for Mikel Mandron, who's through. Frankie Kate's closing on, but he gets a shot away with his right foot, but it's just over the top of Craig Gordon's goal. But it's been definitely in the opening minutes, it's been St Mirren have been the team in the ascendancy.
Let's get to Pittodrie. Aberdeen at home to Livingston this evening there for us. Willie Miller.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the Dons just now. It's very early in the game, just 3 minutes on the clock here, but they've had the bulk of possession. They haven't had any opportunities. Hoilett, Junior Hoilett, is looking very productive, you know, in the wide area. They've got the two wide players, Duke and Hoilett. That should be a potent force. And Sockler given the opportunity. So it's Aberdeen just now, but no chances so far. The Dons well on top.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Next stop, Easter Road. Hibs at home to Motherwell. There for us is Kevin Thompson. Kevin, we're seeing the pictures coming into the studio. It looks a really poor attendance there tonight.
Yeah, to be fair, it's filled up a wee bit, Kenny, to be honest. Obviously, people in hospitality, the main stand, etc. But Hibs have started well. They started brightly. A clever wee run for Josh Campbell. A wee combination with Louis Stevenson resulted in a corner. It kind of punched into the back post that Paul Hanlon and Joe Newell got mixed up. Louis Stevenson had actually just picked up a yellow card, I think, for a foul on Stephen O'Donnell in the wide area. So he's going to be under pressure with Louis for the next 85 minutes.
Straight away.
Yes, Al.
Control it, Simon Murray. It might have been offside, yeah, and as the flag goes up. So annoying that. Straight away, I thought Danda was offside. It's played on, it's played into Murray, it's poor control. Chance is gone.
Yeah, it's frustrating. They have to let the play out and then they pull it back. And we've all said that what happens if an injury happens during that part. Yeah, yes.
Exactly. If it's so obvious, just stop the game.
Yeah.
Crazy. And we're going to chat about, hopefully, VAR getting binned for England, maybe.
Yeah, Liam was talking about that earlier on in the programme. I also want to chat about the new appointment as head of referees. Willie Collum has got that. I know the interviews were held earlier this week. Just back to yourself, Kevin Thompson at Easter Road. Have you got any thoughts as to what the new manager should look like? Who would that be? What would his style be? Anyone that's an obvious standout at the moment?
You, Tomo?
I think we've got... There's a change, Michael. There's a change. At least Michael got one thing right, Kenny. He managed to get Malky Mackay a job.
Yeah, so he just get Neil Lennon and who's the other one again?
Jack Ross.
Jack Ross.
Lenny might be taken as well.
Oh, that's right. He's in the point.
Lenny might be away.
Yes, it looks there's a lot of speculation, Alan, isn't there? He could have a job ready to move into. What about then, Kevin? Is there somebody there you fancy would do a good job?
No, overly, Kenny. I don't know where they're going to go because I think they've went round the houses, really. They've had a Sean Maloney that was his first job. They've had a Lee Johnson that had been managed over 500 games. They've had a Monty that obviously for overseas. So I honestly don't know where they're going to go, Kenny, to be honest. It's interesting times, and I'll watch for afar to see who they eventually go for, but they need to get it right.
Yeah, I was having a look, actually. I'm just trying to find it here, the odds. So Derek McInnes, Stephen Robinson, Neil Lennon, David Gray, Alex Neil.
It's 1-0, St Mirren.
Right, Kenny.
James Scott gets the opener. It's been on it since he came to me 3 minutes ago. His Hearts have been camped in front of their own goal. You know, they had a chance just before they got the goal. It was sloppy play between Craig Gordon and Lembekita, and Toby Sibic it was. They passed it out, it went out to Keanu Bacchus, straight back in, and it cut back. Craig Gordon had to make a good save. But this time as the cross comes in, deep to the back post, it's headed back across the goal, and James Scott's there to slam it past Craig Gordon for inside the 6-yard box. Fully deserved. St Mirren 1-0.
How does Polvara miss that opportunity? Have you seen it?
Just get it back in now,
chance.
Willie. Yeah, just get it back in now, Willie. Here we are now. Here's a replay, Billy.
Junior Hoilett coming in. It's a good save, but it spills right out onto Polvara. All he has to do is hit the target.
Did he get a nick on at the goalie, Willie, and onto the post, did it?
No, he put it by the post. It's a goal kick.
Just the angle with that here, it just looks as if he smashed it off the goalkeeper.
Incredible. Big opportunity.
James Scott with that goal for St Mirren. St Mirren 1, Hearts 0, and what an electric start for Celtic. 7:30 start at Rugby Park. Adam Ida after 5 minutes. Dyson Maeda on 12 minutes.
I was just what Willie was saying there. I don't know how Polvara's missed that. It's by the way, Willie, he's a player that I think has got a big future. Yeah. I really like him.
Chance! What a save that is by Mitov. It's a great ball in. Simon Murray clips it to the back post. trying to see who's coming in. It's over the far side, but gets a head on it, and it's a brilliant save by Mito.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think he's got quite a lot going for him. You know, he's impressive in terms of his stature. Good ball player as well. Very good engine. You know, and he normally takes his opportunities when they come as well. Yeah. And he hasn't in that occasion. And Bobby Clark, who, you know, spent a lot of his career in the States, spoke very highly of him too, so he comes with a good reputation.
I did wonder, what was it, Bobby Clark that had connected the club to him, or is he just passing his opinion? Because I did wonder what the connection would have been for, you know, young American.
It would be the chairman, actually, to be honest. I know we don't want to give him any credit, but
he's done well.
No, but Bobby knows him. Bobby knows him, and he would have asked Bobby about you know, his ability. But I think the chairman, obviously with his contacts over there, had a little say in it as well.
Yeah, it's good. What's your thoughts on Junior Hoilett? Would you be keeping him for
good? Definitely.
Aye,
definitely.
Yeah. He's done well, hasn't he?
Absolutely. From what I've witnessed. Since he came to the club, his delivery from set pieces is
quality, by the way.
Absolutely quality, Dodgy, spot on. And his general play is very good as well. He's a confident, obviously a lot of experience as well. No, definitely I would.
Composed as well.
Yeah.
He seems to want to be staying as well, doesn't he?
That's the noises he's making anyway. Yep.
One player that looks to be certain to win his way, he's just been on a screen there, Conor Baron. A lot of speculation in the media this week, Billy. What sort of level do you think he can go on to play at? You like him?
I think he's got to get. I know we've spoken in this programme before about him and young David Watson. I think he's got to get better defensively. I've watched him a lot. No doubt about his technical ability on the ball, and sometimes we look at the negatives too much. I hope he's not moving too early. You know that, because he can get caught up with. And I'm not saying this is his mentality. I don't know the boy at all, but sometimes agents can say, you deserve to go and play in that country, they're all technical, and maybe get in his head a wee bit. Money talks, it does. But I just hope for his own sake his move doesn't come too early.
I think he's made his mind up.
I think the most important thing for when you're a young player is that you get games. I think you don't want to go to a club where you're going to be sitting on the bench, where you're going to be watching from the stands. You want to go somewhere where you can keep playing and you can keep developing, and whether that's staying where you are or whether it's moving on, I think they have to make sure they've got the right people advising them.
They've been trying to get him on a contract for some time.
Is he just not wanting to do it, William?
No, he's running his contract down now. Whether he leaves or not, time will tell, but the indications are that that's the kind of a pathway he sees himself away somewhere else. But I'll put something to you. In the under-18 cup final, he was down there. He was down there at the under-18 cup final, you know, sitting beside Graham Shinney. So it's not as if he's a player that's maybe carried away with himself, that he doesn't remember his roots. He was down watching guys that he probably knows and he has played with. So I think that says a lot about him. I would love him to say, I think he's a very good player. He can command that midfield. I agree with Dodgy, maybe not defensively particularly good, but he can have a big influence in the midfield area. But I think he's going.
The reason why at different levels, I had young Jay Henderson last year, just get out of St Mirren, had to play football. Julie nailed it, where just stay another season and play another 30-40 games and then take your move. And he went to Ross County too early for me, and I was being genuine when I told him that, and I know he regrets it now.
Duke off the post. Duke off the post. Duke on a run down.
Duke goal. It used to be Duke goal.
It's been a
That's
while.
what it used to be.
He was so unlucky. He was so unlucky though. Good work for him coming in from the right hand side and striking it with the left foot. What's that, Alan?
He'll get one tonight. It used to be. That's what I'm saying. It used to be Duke goal. It's not anymore, is it?
No, he hasn't been anywhere near the.
We're just seeing it here.
Can we have that? Can we have that argument again about Shanklin and Duke? Can we have that?
That wasn't an argument. You said he wouldn't get in the Hearts team. I didn't say he would replace Shanklin.
Yeah, get back to Conor Baron. Actually, I was chatting to a manager in the top flight, and he said that the word he was getting was Conor Baron certainly sees his future abroad. So we'll see what develops. What's happening there, Kevin Thompson, Easter Road, the delay in play?
Yeah, there's. I think Stevie McLean is going to need to be the linesman, Kenny. I don't know which one it is, whether it's Drew Kirtland or Colin Drummond, but one of them must have calves or hamstrings like myself.
A fantastic save there.
Stevie McLean has to come in. I think is obviously the fourth official, so he's going to be the linesman, and I'm presuming the injured linesman will become the fourth official.
Right, a save somewhere.
I had a fantastic save for Liam Scales for 35-yard strike. brilliant touch over the top.
Anything at all from Kelly, Peter?
Nothing. I find it really strange. They're just getting dominated. Brendan's done really well pricking Maeda tonight, because when they close in the midfield, they go beyond them, and Maeda takes it in. Now they're in the midfield, O'Reilly or Hatate find themselves in acres of space to play, and Kelly can't get near them at this moment in time. And Celtic have went probably longer. Joe Hart's looking for Maeda now, and he's bypassing that midfield. So young Watson that have got to do all the running back the way, but they were thinking maybe I'll go and press Cahill and McGregor. They're not going to allow to do that, and Celtic's tactics have been very, very good, so Kelly are finding it very, very difficult to get any hold in the game at all.
Back to the game at McDermott Park, Alan, you touched on that save from Mitov early on. He's been a very good signing, hasn't he, for Saints?
Yeah, he won every single award, from the supporters to players' player to everything he won at the supporters gig the other week there, and rightly so. He's been an excellent signing for them. Can they keep a hold of him? Especially, it would be more difficult if they go down. But he's been a really good find for them. He has been called under. He saved them from so many hammerings over the period. I mean, a game at Easter Road, a game here as well against Hibs. He was outstanding, absolutely.
So in the 5 games in the top flight this evening, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, Hibs 0, Motherwell 0, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, St Mirren 1, Hearts 0. James Scott after 7 minutes. They are all 7:45 start, 7:30 start at Rugby Park, and what an electric start for the away side. Adam Ida on 5 minutes, Dies Maeda on 12, 2-0 up Celtic away at Kilmarnock. Julie, what's the latest in the women's games this evening? It's a big night of fixtures.
It is, and both sides of the Old Firm have won the game. Celtic slightly more comfortable than Rangers. They get a 3-1 win away at Hearts, and Rangers have won 3-2 at Hibernian. So it's all set up for a wonderful Sunday for this last game, and of course it's in Celtic's hands now with that massive goal difference.
Can you see a slip up from Celtic given the way they've been playing in recent weeks?
No, I can't. Definitely not in Sunday. I think if there was going to be a slip up, it was going to be tonight at the Oriam against Hearts, who have had decent results against the top 3 sides, the 3 sides who are above them in the league at home. But Celtic, as they have been for the last few weeks, they've been relentless. They've had a really strong lineup. They've had their experienced players. You get 2 goals from Natasha Flint and a goal from Amy Gallagher, 2 players that they rely heavily on. Amy Gallagher had an injury this season, but she's come back to form at the right time. So I think they'll be delighted with those 3 points, and there's just that 1 game to go now.
Right, I'm going to come to you first. I mentioned
Here's a chance for St Johnstone. May, oh, he's poor, really poor. Stevie May, he gets inside the full-back. He's got a full-sighted goal. He's got to do better. Really poor strike.
Really weak, wasn't it?
It was, but I mean, look, it's the defending. The defending. I mean, is it the captain?
I think it's Baldwin, is it?
Is it Baldwin?
Is it Baldwin?
Aye. It looks like
he plays at Nightingale or Baldwin.
It's very far away here.
Nightingale, I think it was. I think it's...
Oh, jeez.
But when you get there...
It looks like Baldwin has just a fresh air swipe at the ball, and it lets Stevie May get in behind him. And yeah, you're right, he's got to do better in that position.
Guys, just have a quick look here. Just a replay on the top screen. Peter, a really bad challenge there.
Absolutely, I'm just looking at it. It's Liam Donnelly. I was just waiting to come to you because I'm not sure, I've not seen it again. But he's went in forceful. I know Liam, as I said to you earlier on there, he's very competitive. But he's done one of the tackles, a bit similar to Lundstrom's at the weekend, the slide, when you're going 100%. And it's interesting to see here because Hatate's down holding the top of his foot, and if that's the case and he's not got the ball, he could be in trouble. He's got the yellow card, but I don't know if the referee's going to VAR or if he's hearing anything else. At this moment in time, Hatate's just getting the treatment. So it tells you he must have got part of the ball because the referee doesn't seem to be changing his mind in any shape or form or talking to VAR. I'm not sure.
They missed the replay.
They've not even shown anything else.
No, he's not.
Yeah, they missed it because we were watching the Ross County swipe and the Stevie May chance. They did show you a couple of times, I think, but we missed it.
We'll maybe get another look at that one. So Julia mentioned there Fletcher Boyd, fantastic debut, dream debut for him for Aberdeen at the weekend at Easter Road.
Yellow card to stand, yellow card.
That's Peter. Memories of your debut?
Do you know, I can't remember my senior debut. I think I was probably 14 at Ayr United, so I actually don't remember my senior debut. My debut for Arsenal, I hadn't met any of my teammates. I had only met my coach. I remember driving down to Middlesbrough. I think it was a cup game. I hadn't met anyone, just strip on and straight out and joining my team on the pitch, barely knew their names, and that was kind of the way my Arsenal career went. I would arrive just before kickoff or just before warm-up. I would play the game and then I would go home, so never trained with my team, and it kind of started from that one game at Middlesbrough when I made my debut.
So you flew down once a week for the game, but not for the training at all?
Not for the training,
That must have been so difficult in terms of your relationships there with the players.
It was, yeah. I was actually with my team recently when we all got together at the Emirates, and we had a laugh about it because they kept saying, "Oh, your chopper's arriving." That'll be you heading up the road now. So I would literally arrive. There was some games where I would be taken off because my flight was going to be leaving earlier.
That's incredible, isn't it? But great commitment from you, 'cause that's not easy, is it? I mean, what age were you?
When I signed there, I think I was 22.
Right.
So I had just came back from playing in America and signed there. I signed halfway through a season, and it was kind of, we'll see how the second half goes. My job, I was a teacher, it wasn't full professional down there, so that was the way my career went.
A star player. That's what happens after. I watched your programme a couple of weeks ago. It was excellent.
Private jets. Yeah, listen, I know the line's dropped off, but Hearts have got an equaliser through there in Paisley. James Scott with the opener for the home side on 7 minutes. We'll try and get that line reconnected for you. Just waiting for the scorer to come through there.
Scored.
Was that right? I've not seen the replay of it. Yeah. See where now, Michael. Just talk us through it.
I'm not sure who cuts the ball back. The ball's played down the inside left channel, gets cut back, and Tagawa attacks it really well around about the near post area. He's probably about 10 yards out. Nice finish with a left foot under the goalkeeper in the back of the net.
So on a pace through in Paisley, we'll try and hear from Kenny Miller. Just a reminder, elsewhere, an electric start for Celtic. 2-0 up in the 7:30 kick-off at Rugby Park. Ida and Maeda with the goals. 5 and 12 minutes there. Celtic just need 1 point tonight to secure the title. Of course, the celebrations were there at the weekend. Job done with that victory, but they will seal it in style this evening, the way things are going at Rugby Park. Billy Dodds, memories of the debut.
I made my debut at 17 against Blackburn. David Speedy got an injury, and he played in the youth team the night before, and I got trailed all the way to Blackburn.
At Chelsea?
Yeah, down at Chelsea. Trailed all the way to Blackburn the next day, and then he got injured after half an hour, so I come on then.
Oh, chance!
Full league debut on the Saturday against Arsenal with the top team.
Let's go back to your chance here.
Goal! Carry.
Right,
Goal at Celtic. James Forrest, fantastic play yet again. Maeda, a fantastic ball across. James Forrest in at the back post. Celtic are running riot. It's too easy. There's too many spaces in the Kilmarnock team, and they're just getting overrun, outplayed. And the passing and moving for Celtic yet again down the side of the pitch. Maeda does fantastic. Great strength for Ida. Maeda cuts it across. James Forrest tap in 4 yards out.
It's the same sort of goal they've been scoring when they switched off in wide areas, and it's a brilliant run by Maeda and a brilliant cutback in Forrest, as he's been doing in recent weeks. Just desperate for goals, and it's just ruthless, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean,
Guys, could I ask you a question? Is this the first time Kelly have played a back four against Celtic this season? Because most times I can remember I've seen him playing as a back three.
They started off the season, it was definitely a three. You're right,
that's what I'm thinking, and I'm just looking at those and I'm thinking the spaces are getting is incredible, and Celtic never had that in the 3 games I've seen them against them. They've always near enough been man for man, the 2 strikers working really hard, but the wide players can't get a touch of the ball. You know, in the midfield they're just getting outnumbered. It's like a 5v2 in there. It's like keep ball rondo.
I've got a question for you actually on the Celtic team in just 1 minute, but Kenny Miller, you're back with us. News of that equaliser in Paisley.
Yeah, again, completely against the run of play. St Mirren have been excellent, completely dominant. Hearts have just been throwing balls forward, hopefully to get on for the likes of Tagawa and Forrest to chase, but they've had absolutely no joy at all against the St Mirren team. But they got a break. They go down the left-hand side. It was Cam Devlin actually getting ahead of the game, and it's a left foot cutback, and Tagawa just gets across, I think it was Gogic, and he just slams it right through the legs of Hemingway's left foot to get Hearts back into the game. Like, I have to say, St Mirren could have been 2 or 3 up in this opening 22-23 minutes.
Yeah, their European participation confirmed last night, their first European adventure in 37 years after Dundee. They were 2-0 up at Ibrox, but they couldn't hold on and get the win there against Rangers. Rangers very good in the second half, dreadful in the first half. Chick Young, you are covering the playoff match for us this evening. You're just underway.
We are, Kenny, because it's a 8:05 kickoff here in Hamilton. It's a lovely evening. The game's started at a fair old pace. Hamilton getting forward, actually the one that's offside to Inverness. I've got the ball in the early stages in and around Aki's 18-yard box. No clear-cut opportunity for either side, to be fair, but they can feel the enthusiasm from the Hamilton Ackies and fans in front of me. Travelling support down from Inverness as well. It's a long hike for them. It's going to be very interesting. I think over these two games, this is going to be very, very tight. Just listening to the boys tonight, Kenny, I'm just wondering, that name James Forrest, because again, anyone think he could be a wild card inclusion in the Scotland squad?
Listen, we discussed this a couple of weeks ago, and I think wild card is out, and I think all the guys were saying he's a dead. He goes, doesn't he?
It's not. It's gone past wild card now. I think it's a pretty much stick on.
Oh my goodness me! What a goal that is! It's for Hamilton Ackies from the halfway line. It got over the head of the goalkeeper, hit the post, came back off the goalkeeper, and went back into the net. It's an incredible strike, I have to say. Ackies ahead, and the goal scorer, I think, down there is it Jamie Burjohnson scored it. It's an incredible goal. What a goal that is. Halfway line, over the head of the goalkeeper, come off the post, hit the goalie again. It's actually Dylan McGowan. Oh no, I was right the first time. It was Burjohnson, but actually it's an own goal, because it hits the post, come out, hits the goalkeeper, goes in. That's actually an own goal. It's 1-0 Ackies.
Big chance Celtic. Ida does brilliant, steals the ball off of Finlay, runs away from him and smashes it, and the keeper is a fantastic save. Another corner to Celtic. Celtic are running riot, they can't get near them. They seem all over the pitch, they're playing 5v2s, 4v2s, just overloading them. I think Derek has to do something, either manoeuvre one of his strikers wide, or this could be a cricket score.
Yeah, they're absolutely rampant there. That was an own goal. It was unfortunate. It was a dreadful start for Inverness. Cally Thistle there dodging. As we've been saying, really worrying times for the football club in general, where they go if they can't retain their championship status.
Yeah, it was Charlie Gilmour who I'm surprised. He's surprised he's back in the team. He's been out for months. He's only trained a couple of times, but he's a top player. But he gave away in midfield and he nicked it, but take nothing away. The chip from Burjonas, it beats Rodgers all end up, and you can't blame Matt Rodgers, because he's just come back off the post, hit him and gone in.
It's coming through in the video printer as Kevin O'Hara on 6 minutes, but I'm hoping that will get changed very, very quickly. It's clear as day. Yeah, it's clear as day when you see that. I want to go back just to a question on Celtic, Billy, but just to finish off your story, your debut for Chelsea.
No, I said, look, played in the youth team, and then the next night it was up to Blackburn, played nearly the full game. And then on the Saturday we played Arsenal, and they were a top team. We beat them 1-0. I was only 17 there, come on. Brilliant. But my full debut in Scotland was a nightmare, because I was late for Dunfermline and Gordon Wallace didn't talk to me for a month. My first game, my full debut in Scotland, I turned up my mum and dad get lost, and I'm blaming them.
That must have been a horrible experience, was it?
Never spoke to me for a month. I never even get near the team. See you later, son. So there's my full debut in Scotland.
Right, we'll get around the rest of the guys. Peter, I want to put a question to you and James Forrest. Everyone's saying he should go to the Euros. Where would you say he's better, left or right?
Left for me. He's playing right tonight and he's been excellent. I thought he started the first half on Saturday. I thought he was excellent as well, playing on the right-hand side. But for me, I think he's a bigger goal threat. When he plays on the left-hand side, he passes forward, which a lot of the Celtic boys like Palmer and that don't do. They pass it back to Callum McGregor. James is more forceful. He looks for his striker, or puts the ball in the box, or has a shot. And I think that's been the big uplift in Celtic's play recently. The wide players have been more forceful at getting crosses in and putting the ball in the box, whereas prior to that, the boys spoke about slow build-up, getting it wide. The likes of Yang and Palmer were always, the first port of call was going back to Callum McGregor or Awata in the middle of the pitch, and that's not what Celtic do. And that's why it was easy for teams who were coming deep against them to get back in and fill back in. Now, as soon as they're by them, the ball's going forward, get into the front men, get into the box more often, and boys will tell any of the strikers will want the ball in the box, and that's why Kyogo and all that's getting the benefit from it.
Cutting edge, that's what he brings. I mean, for me, it doesn't make any difference whether he's left or right. And obviously he's played most of his career on the right-hand side, but Peter's absolutely spot on. The big difference with James Forrest is exactly that. When Louis Palmer cuts in field, it's invariably just constantly across the field or going back into the midfielders, whereas James Forrest, he'll cut inside but then he's going forward again, either driving with the ball or hitting his front men and looking for 1-2s. You know, if you cut in along the edge of the box and play a wee bounce pass off your striker and you're diving in behind the defence, that's great play. But if you cut in field and you're just running across the face of the defence, it's very easy to defend against, and that's what Celtic have done until the last, you know. Kuhn's exactly the same on the other side. Cuts in field, but he's never looking to play forward again, which then just means that it's pretty much, you know, irrelevant what he's doing. And James Forrestal dived in the field.
Goal! What a goal! Jan Danda! He gets the ball up and he looks, and he's looking for White, who backs into his defender. I think it's McGowan. He backs into, plays a lovely 1-2, runs off his man, takes a touch and thumps it with his left foot beyond Mitov. What a goal that is. 28 minutes on the clock, St Johnstone now, Ross County 1.
We're just talking about players coming in off the flank and looking to play with their striker. That's exactly what he does. He comes in off the right-hand side, he cuts inside and he's looking forward, and he plays a brilliant wee bounce pass, and then it's a great finish. But you do just wonder where the St Johnstone defence is, because he gets far too much space in there. But take nothing away from the finish. He created it himself, he got on the end of it, and he just managed to slot it. It's a great goal.
It's a wonderful
Ross County point of view.
Wonderful. I'm just wondering
his man initially doesn't stay with him when he bounces it. Then the centre half of St Johnstone
runs him away.
Opens up, yeah.
See, I'm wondering who the Ross County player is. Is it Jordan White, perhaps, just runs him away? Because there's a big gaping hole in the defence that he goes into. I think it's maybe White, but certainly it's if you're watching it, you can see there's a huge hole in the middle of the defence. Not Simon Murray, actually. He just drags either Considine or McGowan enough so that Danda can continue his run at the box. It's a great strike.
Who's 33, Alan? Is Graham Carey number 33 for St Johnstone?
Kelkins, he's playing left back.
Kelkins couldn't stay with Danda either, and then it was a good run by White.
No, he just let him go.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's a really nice 1-2 and a wonderful finish from Danda.
Yeah,
it's been a lively game.
What a goal.
Yeah. It's been a lively game. You know, you can see both sides. It's not as if it's been an edgy game. It seems like both teams have been properly going at it.
And we're seeing away support there, Alan. So as things stand, County are safe. St Johnstone into that relegation playoff. You spoke about a decent home support there this evening. I'd imagine it could get pretty toxic if things stay the way they are. We've had fans on in recent weeks. They have had enough. Not just the results, but the style of football.
Oh, don't let it go. There's another chance. Simon Murray's almost done. It's going to break. Great save, Mitov. Back to Murray. Save again. What a save that is. Look at this double save from Mitov. Wonderful, wonderful goalkeeping. This could have been 2-0. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, and it's just, what's it like there in the stands, Alan? You're in among the home support there with the position.
It's the County fans. It's the County fans are going mad, as you can imagine. They're delighted the way their team are playing. St Johnstone fans not doing anything at all. You're probably right. They've probably had enough. You know, they've turned up their numbers tonight, but at the moment, it's only Ross County that have turned up. They're the ones that are really going for it now. They can see they can end this all tonight.
The second one for Murray would have been offside.
Aye.
Anyway, it's a brilliant the goalkeeper doesn't know. You're right, Alan, where Mitov has to bring off 2 saves, but it would have been offside the second one.
Alan spoke about before the game in terms of St Johnstone just going for it, and it's not in the nature of the manager. But from Ross County's perspective, that's what I was saying. It looks like a real lively game. They've got a lot of attacking threat. And, you know, so far you've got to say credit to Don Cowie, because it's not like they've just been thinking, right, do you know what, guys, we didn't need to win this game. If we can draw it, you know, we're in a really good position. We'll go back home after this and we've got a point. It's another game closer to safety. They've just gone for it.
They've seen their chance.
They've gone for it.
He'll believe in the attacking threat they've got at County, because they've been prolific. The strikers that they've had, Simon Murray in particular, his work rate's incredible, but he can also finish as well. So Don Cowie will believe that he's got a team out there who are capable of scoring.
That's a worry quickly for St Johnstone, Kenny. We said they've played with strikers. They've got May, Clark and Sidibe in the team, and they look vulnerable as anything tonight.
You know, and also, just to take it a step further, if St Johnstone were to end up in the playoffs, coming up against the likes of Partick Thistle or Raith are very similar to a Ross County in terms of the attacking threat that they've got. They play really good football, their movement's good, and they can cut teams open at will. And Partick Thistle have got a wee bit about that in them as well, but even more so Raith. And
They'll slice through that defence, that's what you're saying.
Well, Wraith, they're full of confidence.
Yeah.
Not so much slight. I mean, St John's defence isn't too bad, but it's more, the intensity and the intent of going and hurting the opposition. And Wraith moved the ball about really well.
I think it's a bit of both, Mikey. I think, you can play your strikers, which he has done. I'm not sure they are rock solid defensively. I think they're vulnerable.
I want to come back to you, Mike. You were at Firhill last night for the first leg of that playoff. Let's get to Easter Road. What's happening there, Kevin Thompson?
It's been quiet, Kenny, but the last couple of minutes it just come alive. Joe Newell had a brilliant volley straight down Liam Kelly's throat. I think if there's anywhere else, it's in the back of the net. And then Boyle had a strike right on the edge of the box. Good play from Maeda. Just almost a wee give and go, and it gets worked to the edge of the box to Boyle. He hits it, ricochets, comes off the outside of the post and goes for a corner. Nothing come for the resulting corner, but it's probably been Motherwell that have had the best chances. Sam Nicholson both felt him. Great ball for Ghent, stealing it off Boyle, right in front of Paul Hanlon. He actually does great to recover a wee bit earlier on in the game, but really lack quality in the final third, to be honest, Kenny. Thanks
to Kevin Thompson. Down south, Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. Cole Palmer, what a season he has had with that goal on 34 minutes. Let's get to Pittodrie. Willie Miller is there for us. Aberdeen against Livingston. A lot of chances early on for the home side. Willie, what's happening now?
Yeah, they've had a number of opportunities, probably 4 or 5, Aberdeen, and Livingston have come back into the game. They've had their little moments, but it's been predominantly the Dons that you're early, I'm thinking.
Checking your watch.
Yes, it was. Wow, what's happening here? Have I lost the plot?
Come on, Willie.
You think
He's got a Willie Miller watch.
It's just a one hand I've got in this watch. That's the problem.
I'm not Timex.
Sorry, Willie.
So you've known me off my stride. No, Aberdeen have had a number of opportunities. Polvara, Duke, Hoilett miskicked one as well. Shinnie put one over the bar. So they've been well on top, created opportunities, haven't taken any. But, a wee chance for Livingston. And Montagno across, good diving save. I think it's Devlin off the line. Montagno down the left-hand side, drove it across the face. Was it going in? Not too sure, but Devlin couldn't take the chance. He slides in and he plays it out for the corner. So they've had their little moments going forward, Livingston. Predominantly Aberdeen in top, but Livingston looking dangerous on the break.
It was a 7:30 start at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Celtic, and Brendan Rogers' side absolutely cruising, Peter Grant.
Oh, they've been brilliant. And then, as I say, their top players, the middle to front have been excellent. Not just with the ball, against the ball. They've got right in against Kilmarnock. They've won the ball back quickly. They've found space to play in. Ida's dropping off and taking the centre back in with him. When he takes them in, the midfielders are running beyond. So now the centre back doesn't know whether to go, so that gives them more space. And the front three have scored. Every one of the front three have scored a goal. So it's been the perfect first half for Celtic. And Joe Hart, he's only had a couple of bye kicks to take. That sums up the first half, really, Kenny, to be perfectly honest. Celtic have been excellent.
You've got to say that Adam Ida's inclusion from Brendan Rodgers has been a spot-on decision.
Did
Absolutely, Michael.
you buy him?
Well, depending on what the sort of cost is, but he's certainly, I've said this on a number of occasions, he's become a far better option than O was. Simple as that, because Adam Ida is effective, and there tonight, exactly like Peter's talking about, dropping into the space. Celtic have they've done exactly what you would want in possession. They've stretched the game so the opponent is been pulled about, and then they've been able to exploit the gaps in their defence, and they've played really quickly, which helps to do that as well.
I can't believe that Hamilton Aki's goal is still going down to Kevin O'Hara. I was fully expecting it to change.
Believe it. I remember the classic. I'm sure it was McDermott Park when Tony Watt hit a shot across the 6-yard box, came off the defender and went in, and he was given the goal.
Yeah, you would claim it.
Of course. You were at the game last night.
That one wasn't even getting in. They hit the post and came out again.
I checked a couple of places here.
It was going along the 6-yard box.
Maybe someone's got a few quid in O'Hara for the first goal, I don't know, but I've checked a few sites here and it has not changed, because that goal went in after 6 minutes.
The saying there, Kenny. It was a great run by Fabulous on into the left-hand side. Ewan Henderson caught his right foot. Had a great line in it. I thought that was going in the corner. Just a little too much elevation on him, went over the crossbar, but it's got the Aki's fans going, and I think they've got Inverness on the back foot at the moment, although it's still only 1-0. That goal, and I'll say it again, Mark Rogers' own goal.
sticking your neck in the line there, chick.
He likes
You know
to
me,
do that.
Billy.
Oh,
I'm going to write down now. I've been holding fire. I'm going to put Kevin O'Hara, so I thought I'm going to have to cross that out. But Kevin O'Hara with that opening goal, and what a big goal that could turn out to be, no doubt at all. Duncan Ferguson has been under pressure in recent
weeks. Why are you bowing to nonsense?
Because I can't read it out as that, and it appears everywhere else as something different.
It's Mark Rogers.
See, sometimes for a strong man, you're very weak.
Road, Billy, I expect better off you.
Kenny! Kenny!
You've collapsed.
Yeah, right.
Kenny,
that's going back.
You're paying me to be see and watch this for you, and I've told you as the boys are seeing it in the telly. You agree with me, Kenny? Kenny, have a look. Talk to your Labradors.
He had Bert Jonas, to be fair, when it was O'Hara.
Something's happened at Easter Road. I heard Kevin saying something.
All right, Kevin, what's happening?
Yeah, it's a penalty. All come from Mark Boyle, Kenny. Great ball down the right-hand side, whips it, forward trajectory, great speed, causes a wee bit confusion in the box, ends up going up in the air. Maeda brings it down, lovely wee touch, wee bit disguised, and it comes off of Casey's hand. Referee, only 10 yards away, points to the spot, so we're just awaiting a wee bit argument for the Motherwell players. I think Sam Nicholson's having a wee go at the referee. I'm pretty sure it'll be checked at the moment.
Oh no, Mike, you're all over this.
I've not seen it yet.
When you see him talk about it, I think
he just flipped it. There you go. I've not seen it. It's no penalty. There you go.
His hands down by his side. It looks like first.
Was it not Stephen? I think it's Stephen O'Donnell. The camera's certainly on.
Stephen O'Donnell. I thought it was Casey maybe at the back post.
We've still not seen it.
O'Donnell, yeah.
Sure, it was Kevin O'Hara.
There's actually a mist over Easter Road at the moment. It's like that one of the cold fogs. You can hardly see a thing.
Right, we shall wait and see what happens there. Can I just ask you one thing? Oh, is that a chance somewhere? No, perhaps not. Just one quickie, Kevin. David Gray keeps getting these interim jobs there in between managers. He's
got to be a booking.
Yeah,
surely.
It's
a really bad challenge. Nightingale on Sidibe, yellow card.
That's a bad one.
Sidibe's lightning quick. Easy yellow.
David Gray gets the interim post. He survived several managers there, Kevin. He's quoted sometimes for the manager's job on a permanent basis. What is he like as a coach? I mean, is he in that position because he got the most famous goal in the club's history? But in terms of his coaching ability, do we know much about him?
As soon as Maeda scores this penalty, I will come back to you, Kenny, for an answer for that one. He's just about to take it.
It's another goal for the Yankees. It's a corner kick. It's a header rattled against the crossbar. It goes right up in the air, comes back down. Yankees have got over the line. I'll identify the score in a moment, but it is Hamilton Accies 2, Inverness 0, and the Highland Club, the Highland side are in trouble.
Big trouble. Kevin, what's happened?
Yeah, as casual as it gets, Kenny, to be honest. Maeda, he does a wee hop, skip and a jump. He just slides it, nonchalant really, down the side of Liam Kelly. Maeda's right, Liam Kelly's left. Liam goes the opposite way. Easy peasy for Maeda, classy individual. He's got all the touches, all the class. And then touching on what you asked, Kenny.
Yeah.
Listen, Sir Dave Gray, he's a wonderful person. He's got unbelievable standards. Listen, I've never worked under him as a coach, so I cannot quote that. But as a person with standards and the respected within the building, he's unbelievably respected by all the players. Are the club going to give him the job? I don't think so. But I'd like to think when Michael was speaking earlier and I spoke about Louis and Paul, to have these type of people around the building, to have these people. But listen, there is the argument. Seen all 4 managers. There has been a wee bit of unsuccess. I don't think you can label that a Dave Gray. I think he's a terrific individual and he deserves everything he gets.
Just to touch on the playoff game at Chicks at Hamilton there, I think you can see Rodgers is complaining, and I think he's maybe got a shout. I'm not sure who the Hamilton Accies player was, but the first corner comes in, it gets headed towards goals, it spins away up in the air, and the Hamilton striker, now you could argue that Rodgers needs to be stronger, but the Hamilton striker definitely shoves his back into Rodgers to knock him off balance and not being able to get to the ball. Now the goal's going to stand, there's no VAR.
Ferguson's it is Mike. He wins the first header, hits the bar, and he wins the second header because of exactly what you're talking about. The striker barges into Rodgers, referee doesn't see it, but it's Ferguson's that comes in, hits the bar, pops about 15 yards in the air, and then he wins the second header as well to knock it in.
It's a packed 6-yard box, so it's a really difficult one for the goalkeeper to try and come and get anything on.
Yeah.
And the players are just in and around there. The strikers are, the defenders are. It's really difficult for them to try and get any gap to kind of come out and challenge for the ball. But the first header's a brilliant header. It crashes right off the bar, and he follows it in really well and manages to get on the end of it.
Inverness Cali in big trouble. Hallockanaki's 2, Cali Thistle 0. First leg of that play-off final. Let's get to Pays. We've not heard from Kenny Miller for a while. Just approaching half-time there, Kenny.
Yeah, it is. We're into the 44th minute here, Kenny. It's the game was a brilliant start to it. St Mirren absolutely excellent. Hearts then came back in and got the equaliser. Had a little spell for maybe 5 minutes or so where it looked like they were going to start to play a little bit better football. They have now reverted back to these long ball tactics. Again, I'm saying long ball. They're looking for the Forrest and Tagawa to go over the top. But it's not been great for the last kind of 10-15 minutes off either side. I would go back to the opening of the game. St Mirren were excellent. Probably should have been a couple up. But at the moment, still 1-1. We're in the last minute of the half.
Really tense times there, I'm sure. Alan Preston at McDermott Park. Anything at all from the home side?
Nah, nothing really. Another shot there from Jan Danda on the left-hand side. He's been terrific. Simon Murray, his pace is causing all sorts of concern. St Johnstone, I'm just sitting with Jane and I'm saying that they're just resorting to long balls over the top, looking for Sidibe's pace. It's just not working at all.
Ross County
look
look
going
really...
one way this game at the moment.
I was just going to say, Alan, Ross County look like they're really at it. You know, every time you look up, they are like on their bite. They're getting forward. Bodies getting promoted forward. Even like the tackle for Will Nightingale is a yellow card all day long. But they're playing with a real intent so far. He's clattered into the player, and he's getting, you know, no doubt it was a yellow. But it just shows that they're hungry,
aggressive.
Aye.
On the ball, off the ball.
Better run from Dre Wright there. Really good run for Dre Wright to the byline, whips it across.
Alan, we've spoken a lot about the body language of Craig Levein in recent weeks, how he's coming across in his interviews. What's he like in the touchline there?
Hold on, we've got some. There's a VAR check.
All right.
I think something's happening here.
Right.
The referee's coming over, or has he just lost communication? He may have just lost communication.
There's nothing there, is there?
Just to tell you what, it's a fair turn of pace from Dre Wright and then straight into the goalkeeper's hands, but nothing doing out apart from that.
What about the manager on the touchline, Alan?
Well, he's just standing talking to the fourth official. Don Cowie's calling all his players over, and he's got to be saying, get a drink, you know, we're nearly there at half time, you're doing your job, we're almost there.
Yes, goal. Goal, Kevin, for you?
Yeah, brilliant. It's a great ball. I think it comes from Louis Stevenson to start with into Maeda. He just chips it back. He almost gets to the byline and Boyley just arrives. Doesn't get the best contact, to be honest, Kenny, but he finds Liam Kelly's bottom corner, back across the goalkeeper. Ball comes through one side and then just his movement coming back across the goal. Almost a sclaf for Boyley, but listen, they all count.
I just think with Nick Montgomery, Dodgy, watching this tonight, how can he make any sense of it? You know what I mean?
Football, sometimes
Kenny,
you think you know everything about it.
let me say something, Kate.
Yep.
Kenny, let me say something. I'm looking at Don Cowie, organised, made players better. You know, I'm looking at Peter leaving at Aberdeen, no transfer windows, organised, made players better in a short period of time. Nick Montgomery didn't do that. Don Cowie's had a brilliant statement result against Rangers at home. Naismith statement result, Kettlewell statement result at Ibrox. Nick Montgomery didn't have a statement result. He lost a semi-final to 10 men Aberdeen. And I can see why that Hibs have done what they've done. But guys like Don Cowie and Peter Leavin, they've managed to make players better and organise teams and get better results.
Do you think, Michael, it's just down to say organisation tonight? Because David Gray's not exactly a lot of time to try and work these players
here,
make them
Kenny,
better.
Paisley.
Thanks, Kenny. What a piece there.
Yeah, 1-1, finishing 1-1 again. Nothing really happening towards the end.
It's not just down to organisation. It's down to the atmosphere that's around the place. It's toxic, and you know the manager, I've no doubt, would have been at some stage probably reading the Riot Act because he would have been feeling the pressure. And when players are in that position, they know that he was a dead man walking with a statement that's come out as well. It's just everything about it is feeding into negativity. And David Gray's there, the players will just feel like there's a bit of pressure being relieved, and he can go in and just give a bit of a clear message. You can argue the toss about the managers that have been there. I think some have been potentially better than others, and none of them have been able to make it happen. So I think everybody recognises where the real issues lie and what needs to change before you bring in anybody else to try to rectify it. This result here tonight is, it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, because the vast majority of those players that are there are not going to be ones that you would hang your hat on to be there next season and having an impact.
But you're right to ask the question,
Goalless
because in
half-time
general,
at Pittodrie.
Yeah.
in general, you do. You need that structure, you need that good coaching skills. You also need a huge bit of luck as well. Or you get clubs where sometimes at the top it's not been structured properly or run properly, so that doesn't help you as a manager either. There's all different ways to lose your job, there's no doubt.
I think that's going to be the problem, is who's going to want to take the job when, as it stands at the moment, the way things are at Hibs, and they might have people in mind that they would like to take on, but are they going to be interested? They talked about Derek at Kilmarnock. He's not going to want to go there when he knows the structure that's in place at Kilmarnock. He's got a squad that he'll maybe just need small tweaks for next season. This is a massive job, and you're unsure of the support that you're going to have in the background.
Still an attractive job.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, of course, it's an attractive job because it's a massive club, and the infrastructure and everything that's there is brilliant. But you're definitely, Julie's absolutely spot on. There will be a lot of people that will be going, no, not especially not just now. Not from a managerial perspective, but I know there was somebody that Bournemouth wanted to go and speak to Hibs, not in a managerial capacity. He met them a couple of times and said, no thanks, didn't have the right feeling.
That's damning, isn't it? One man that would say yes is David Gray, and I just wonder, with Malky Mackay and then the support you'd get from him, could that be an option?
David Gray?
Yeah, with Malky Mackay there. No, you don't see it.
What, your opinion, or you just don't think they'll do it?
Both.
Right.
I don't think they'll do it. In my opinion, it's not for him. Well, I'm not saying it's not for half-time here at McDermott.
Thanks, Sean.
I'm not saying it's not for him. He probably wants it, but I don't think Hibs would give him it. I really don't. I think they're looking at bigger and more experienced. And I also think, touching on their recruitment, I think the Black Knights and the people involved at Bournemouth will be taking a big input in this as well.
Probably that, what Alan's saying as well. But if you're David Gray, and he might want a job, I don't know, but I think for longevity, just put your head above that parapet and get away for the youth setup. And I know you want to be your own man at some point, but if you raise that and you put it there, sometimes you're going to get it blown off and your managerial career could just go before it begins.
Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0. Mainu with a goal there on 31 minutes. Let's get back to Rugby Park. I can see the Celtic team just coming out. Peter Grant cruising there, 3-0 up.
Couple of substitutions for Kelly, but Kenny, they brought on Polworth, and he's going to block up the midfield. He's going to go with 3 in there now. He's moved Robbie Dees. He's either moving him to left back or he's going to wing back. So I'm not sure here, because he's brought on right at centre back. So whether they stick to the back four or play with Armstrong as a wing back, I'm not sure that we'll once this line up, but it'll put Watson closer to Watkins. That's what we'll definitely do. I thought that because they've just overran the middle of the pitch, and if it kept going, it could be, as I say, a cricket score. So they've made the 2 substitutions, and Daba went off along with Kyle Vassell.
Yeah, and very encouraging signs, Peter, with the cup final a week on Saturday. Celtic really hitting their stride now.
Absolutely. I mean, as I say, I look at the team here, right, and I've said it before. I look and I see Liam Scales is the only player that's not been over the course before. He's not been over the course before. He played with Aberdeen and done well with them last year. He's come into the Celtic. I think he's had a very good season. He's had his moments. I think he should pass forward quicker. He takes too many touches at times. But he's defended well predominantly this season, and he's been one of the big highlights for them. But the rest of the boys have all won championship. They've all won cups. So they know what it takes, and I think that's the big difference at this stage of the season with these guys. They know how to play it. Callum McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly have just moved about. They all just play off each other, and they've just not allowed Killick get near them. And it's come at the right time, as you say, and it's always nice for any manager, all the guys that's been managers before, I'll tell you, when you've got your best players available, it makes a hell of a difference.
Half time at Easter Road, Kieran.
Yep. Thanks, Kevin. So the home side cruising there. Peter, I think I've asked you this before. I think you may have been a schoolboy at the time, but memories of your debut for Celtic? I think I've heard the story. I think it was a good story.
Yeah, a bit mixed, to be perfectly honest with you. Well, I was at 17, and obviously playing the reserves, because you only had under 16s at that time, and then you were the first team. Obviously, the PP Youth Cup was run that year, so that was the only time you played any other football. It was 16s and then the reserve team. Got a phone call that morning. I'd been out in the morning, and as I say, when I come back and Mum said there'd been a phone call for Celtic Park and I had to get in a little bit early, but I thought the game has changed the time. We're playing here in the reserve match and walked in and two absolute Celtic legends, Bobby Lennox and Jimmy Johnstone, were my coaches, walked towards me and said to me, "You'll get your first breather about 10 o'clock tonight, son." But I just laughed with nerves because I just thought they were just having a bit of banter with me and I was talking to absolute legends. And the next thing was, I walked in and Brian Scott, the physio, said to me, "Listen, manager wants to see you in my room." So I went to the room, but there's nobody there, and I think to myself, oh, this is a wind-up, you know, sort of thing. And then the next thing, Davey walked in and just tapped me in the shoulder and just stopped me here a minute because we're on the break, Killie. And then the manager tapped me in the shoulder, walked in and went like, "All right, son." I said, "Yes, Gaffer." He went, "You're playing over at Ibrox today. If I didn't think you could do it, you wouldn't be playing," and walked out. I just started sobbing. I mean, I was 17, I was crying. I said, "I can't play." So the funny thing is, I got out to, God rest, I lost my mum a couple of weeks ago. I went out to see her outside and I said, "Listen, I'm playing over at Ibrox today." And she went, "No, you can't, your dad's at work." you know, so that was the way mine. And talking about Kilmarnock, Bobby Williamson was obviously, he scored an overhead kick that day. So fortunate enough, I'd done well enough to stay in the team after that. And as I say, great memories in the respect that it was at Ibrox in a Celtic Rangers match, and all of a sudden, but as I say, I lost it, so that's the wee thing that dampens it a little bit. Bobby scored an overhead kick, probably the only one he scored in his career, believe it or not.
I hope he's listening. Yeah, that's a great story, and great, despite the result, a great memory for you. So Celtic cruising in that game against Kilmarnock, Maeda and Forrest with the goals in the first half there for Brendan Rodgers' side. They will be crowned champions officially this evening. The final game is at the weekend on Saturday at home to St Mirren. All the coverage across the weekend on Sports. And let's get some half-time reports then. We'll go down the 7:45 kickoffs. We'll start in Paisley, St Mirren at home to Hearts. Just give us your views in that first half, Kenny Miller.
Yeah, listen, it was a decent game up until probably about the half-hour mark. St Mirren definitely started the stronger. I mean, they had chances. Mandron had an early chance. Tanzer, Brown, McMenamin have all had opportunities. There was flashes across the goal. There was mistakes at the back from Hearts and Craig Gordon in goal as well that led to opportunities. And then they took a deserved lead in the 7 minutes through Scott. It was a deep cross headed back across the goal and he was there to slam it into the back of the net. You know, and they were the team in the ascendancy. They could have got a couple more. And then Hearts just out of the blue, down the left-hand side. Cam Devlin, of all people, getting beyond the game. Left foot cut back, and then came Tagawa across Alex Gogic. Again, put it through the legs of him, and it was 1-1. You know, it's been, I would still say St Mirren have been the kind of better team. Hearts, like I said, they've put, obviously, Shanklin's out of the team tonight. They've put Forrest and Tagawa up top, and it's been clear that they've worked on trying these kind of longer passes over the top to get their pace and utilise their pace in behind the back line of St Mirren. Again, they've not really got too much joy out of it. But yeah, St Mirren for me definitely the better team. It's 1-1 at half time. It's all we play for. I mean, two teams have had great seasons. Both got European football next year, so they can be happy with their work so far. But the game's there to be won.
Good stuff, thanks to Kenny Miller. I know there was a penalty check there at Rugby Park. We'll get the thoughts of the guys in just a minute or so. Let's get to Willie Miller, the half-time report from Pittodrie. Willie.
Well, it's goalless here, Kenny, unfortunately. I have to report there have been chances. Most of them, just about all of them actually, fallen to Aberdeen. Polvara had the best of them. Should have really managed to slot it home after good work from Hoilett. Duke had another opportunity, good strike. I think it took a little deflection though and came off the post. Hoilett again had an opportunity at the back post that came from the right hand side. Devlin putting it in, he takes it under control and then he totally miskicks it, and then the captain, who's been really prominent in the middle of the pack, Graham Shinney, putting one over the bar for the visitors. Listen, first half hour, not really in it, but they've came back into it and they've had a bit of domination in the midfield. Stephen Kelly's been very prominent for them, a lot of energy in there. Nubley one side and Bradley the other side have caused Aberdeen a problem or two. They've had a couple of good crosses across the face, but no takers.
Goal!
So,
yes.
What a goal, Matt O'Reilly. Wow, what a strike, son. He stepped inside onto his left foot, lashed into the top corner. And they deserved it. You know, as I say, Kelly had actually started the second half quite bright because of the extra body in there now in the middle of the pitch. They got forward, they got the corner, and you said there was a penalty shout, but it hit Callum's head first before it hits his hand. But there's a clearance here. Hattati strikes it, it's blocked, goes back out It's set off with James Forrest to Mattarelli, who whips it right into the top corner. A wonderful, wonderful finish for a wonderful player.
Yeah, no doubt at all, he is a special talent. But we'll go to Kevin. Oh my goodness, what a strike that is. We'll go to Kevin Thompson just in a minute. But I suppose it's an opportune moment, Billy, just to go and get your thoughts on that penalty shout that there was that Peter referred to.
We were checking out another penalty, the Hibs penalty, and I missed it, Kenny, to be honest, but Peter said it's hit the head and then the hand anyway. But going back to O'Reilly, he did that in the Old Firm game 2 or 3 times where he tried to, it looks as if he's in the position to go and bend at the far corner, and he just absolutely lasers it into the near corner with a reverse finish. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a special talent, Matt O'Reilly. No doubt at all, he's had a terrific season for Celtic once again. Let's then get to the game at Easter Road. Hibs in control there. Kevin Thompson, your assessment of the first half?
Yeah, in control in the end, Kenny, but it was quite flat. There wasn't much quality, to be honest. And then the game come alive a wee bit when Gent stole it off Martin Boyle. He played a wonderful pass across the face of the Hibs defence, across the face of Paul Hanlon, and Sam Nicholson actually gets in at the back post, quite a tight angle. But Paul Hanlon does brilliant to recover like a snapshot, and that was probably the only glimpse that Motherwell had. And a wee stand up at the back post for Sam Nicholson again, Kenny, coming off the right.
Yes, Peter.
Goal for Kelly. I'm not sure if the first one, when he goes through, Carter Vickers has been caught. Then Joe Hart's had a great save, but it's went back out with Danny Armstrong, who's had a wonderful strike. Finished it fantastically well. But it'd be interesting to see, because I don't know what Carter Vickers has done here. If he could be offside. If they go to VAR, there's a possibility it could be offside. But Joe Hart has a save, but Danny Armstrong was a wonderful, wonderful finish when the ball rebounded back to him. But Joe Hart's still down, so hopefully it's just winded because the ball hit him straight in the chest. But can't take any away from Danny Armstrong. What a wonderful finish, son.
It's tight, isn't it?
It's really tight. It's Watkins that makes the run between the 2 centre-backs. He just finds a gap between Carter Vickers and Scales. He's had decent pace, gets on the end of it. He's under a lot of pressure from Carter Vickers to get his shot away. And as it's saved by Joe Hart, it's Danny Armstrong that's first to the ball, and he's still got a lot to do. And he curls it with his left foot into that far corner, and it's a brilliant, brilliant finish in the end. But there'll be a bit of time to just check this one to see whether he is in fact onside or not.
Well, they'll need the lines for that. My initial thought he might just be off, but it's so close.
Check.
It should have been a penalty. There's a debate over this. No VAR, of course, but rattled against the Inverness defender's hand in the box. It looks like he's screaming for a penalty kick. Referee waves play on. Maybe couldn't get out of the way, but certainly struck his hand.
Right, so is that check over yet? We're still... Oh, here we go. Is the check over there?
Here, no.
No, sorry, just asking at Rugby Park.
No, they've not even seen anything here. I'm trying to look at somebody's monitor here, and they're not even looking. The concern is Joe Hart. He's been down since the ball struck him, actually. And they get back up to try and save it. So I don't know if it's the way he's landed on his shoulder, because it looks a lot of pain sitting down there. He doesn't look happy at all. Now they're checking his knee.
Checking his knee. That is a big concern for Celtic. That looked. We just saw a very quick replay of the Hamilnakis one. Did you see it there?
Yeah, I did.
But was it?
He tucked his arms by his side. He just turns and it hits his elbow. It would have been a harsh one.
I'm not so sure. I think this season we've seen numerous occasions where VAR
offside here, no goal,
has
Kelly.
asked the referee to go to the monitor there. For me, he does kind of turn his back, and his arm's possibly slightly out from his body, but certainly nowadays I've seen them given.
I thought he was just off when I looked at Marley Watkins with his right foot was slightly in front of the last Celtic defender, but he missed the chance. But it was this is the ones you don't like to see when it's not far, it's inches.
Yes,
here we are.
And you take away. Look at that. How close is that?
It's a bad decision, Dodgy for Scales, isn't it? Scales going out. He gets sucked out to Watson.
Yes.
It
And it just leaves a massive gap.
Yeah.
Massive gap.
But you're losing a brilliant finish by millimetres.
Absolutely.
I know you keep saying that, but is it not more important we get the right outcome? It was offside.
I think they've got to be space between the lines.
Think so?
I see when they're joined and they're...
Is that not the case? Is there not supposed to be space between the lines?
He wants more space. He wants more space.
Depends who's the on,
Listen, we're talking about binning VAR and then Willie Collum now taking charge. He'll have to be a better people person, Willie. Let me tell you, when it comes to speaking to people, because he's going to get a lot of phone calls.
Wait a minute, so are you talking about your experience of dealing with him as a referee when you speak to him on the Monday morning? These calls we hear about, what, he just dismissive? Dismissive?
No, on the part and that, and I can understand why at times. But going back, I used to go on well with Willie, and then when we played Arbroath in the playoff, and he made 2 decisions that were ridiculous for me.
Many players sent off, did you, in that game? Two. Yeah.
There was only 2 decisions you weren't happy with.
There's more than that.
Did you approach him nice and calmly?
Yeah, I did. Julie, I've got
I remember the game.
Got a good record. I've got a good record. You text me right after it, Mikey, about it was. It's not just about that. It's just about if he's going to be dealing with managers, he has to be a better people person. That's my point.
We'll chat later about what you think he should change in this new role. He's going to succeed Crawford Allen as head of referees in Scotland. Gio, I'll just get you to give us an update on the later kick-offs, the women's game. Just Jane Lewis is at McDermott Park tonight. She just messaged me. We're asking about your memories of your debut. Said Julie has the worst memory ever. She can't remember scoring 16 in one game. So I'll take your word on that debut.
She asked me a lot of difficult questions.
I make it nice
in
and easy.
Defence.
So updates on the latest games?
Yeah, the kick-offs, the late kick-offs. It's Aberdeen 1, Dundee United 1, Motherwell 1, Hamilton 2, which for me has been a shock result, or the shock result of the night. And it's still goalless, Partick Thistle against Glasgow City. So Dundee United and Hamilton both battling it out for that playoff relegation slot as opposed to the automatic one. Even in points, I think there's only 1 goal between them before tonight. So if Hamilton can get 3 points against a Motherwell side who have been going really, really well this last kind of couple of months, if they can get 3 points from that game, that would be huge for them.
Right, you'll keep us updated on that one. I'm looking forward to this. Willie Miller, memories of your debut.
Oh,
you can't remember.
No, can I remember? Well, if you remember, I think we covered it not that long ago, and Big Andy Ritchie came up and sat beside me at Capello.
Oh, that was a great night.
50 years from the debut at Capello. I thought it was going to be. It was a great occasion for myself, and I thought that perhaps I was going to enjoy Capello going forward. But that was about the only time that I did enjoy Capello was my debut, because Ritchie tended always to put us to the sword whenever Aberdeen played down at Greenock, and I hated that place.
Robbie Dees off the bar here, sorry Willie. Robbie Dees with a header off the bar.
Just watching it now. Yeah, off the top of the bar. Yeah, Willie.
Yeah, but that was... I came up here as a striker, came up to Aberdeen as a striker, played for Peterhead, banged in the goals, went back, played in the reserves. I didn't get much of an opportunity in the reserves. Wasn't happening for me as a striker, and then Terry Scott didn't have too many defenders and invited me and Ian Hare, who went up as a striker as well, to be the double centre backs, and that would have been maybe in the November, and then by the April of the next year I made my debut, and then at the beginning of the next season I was in the first team, and that was me, kind of a feature in the first team for the rest of my career. So Capello, that's the only happy memory I've got of it. The rest of the time I played at Capello, it wasn't a happy hunting ground for me or Aberdeen.
Yeah, and what a career it was. Well, I know the new Icon series is coming out. We're all really looking forward to that. I'm sure you're one of the featured icons, of course. I'm sure lots of great stories, lots of great memories for you on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I must admit, it was quite a tiring day when we filmed that. But the questions were great. The memories were fantastic. I think it'll be a good watch. I'm hoping it'll be a good watch. I haven't seen it all. Just some highlights of it. So yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it.
We will, no doubt at all.
There's a possible penalty for Fitzrodri.
Possible, so
I'm trying.
So it was a corner, was it?
It was a possible handball. I think it was the goalkeeper, which is allowed.
The goalkeeper's okay, handball, isn't he? Yeah. No, I watched through it. I'm kind of a...
Where is the handball?
I don't know.
He just shoved it onto, maybe to Skiff.
Kenny, that's half time. Hamilton 2-0 ahead against Inverness.
Thanks to Chick Young there.
Because I was actually talking and watching it at the same time, Mike, and I was wondering what was going on.
Well, we've had several replays and
we have a look.
Oh my goodness.
Kidding.
The referee's been invited over to have a look at that incident, so maybe I've got a screen here, maybe get a replay of it. But
well, we've seen
well to see it.
We've seen 2 replays, and I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But the players are so close as well. The goalkeeper's shoving it in that direction. And we've still not got to the Hibs one yet.
Oh, there's a handball as the cross comes in.
Ah, right, okay.
All right.
As the cross
They were
comes
showing
in.
the replays of the goalkeeper shoving it down.
Yeah.
He's
Right,
pushed.
here we go.
He's pushed though. I mean, it actually looks like a foul. Montagno's on the back of, who is it? Is it Big Pulvara? Or is it
Yeah, they've
Sokla?
changed it now.
And he's falling forward. And the referee's giving it. Mikey, all over it, please.
The screen's that far away, and it's too small a picture, but you can see, like what you're describing there, loads of bodies together.
Montagno fouls him. Montagno's into the back of Sokla, pushes him forward.
And his arm goes up.
His arm goes up in the air, it hits his arm, the referee's giving it.
And his
Oh my
his header's poor, isn't it? You see it from the other angle, his header's poor and just cannons off an arm. Yeah. They've actually shown you that one now, Willie. They were showing you the goalkeepers.
Yeah, that's
slow-mo
yeah.
before that.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway, penalty's been given.
It just, I mean, there's the point, right? You're looking
Yards
at it.
out. Simon Murray it is. Oh no, hits off the wall.
Tete Yenge with her left foot here, taking the penalty.
They've missed a few penalties this season, haven't they? Bush Anderson, I certainly remember missing one on a Saturday, and David Martindale going nuts. I remember that one. Now here we go, Willie.
Oh, that's magnificent. Yenge, left foot, right hand corner, top corner. He's now telling the crowd to shut up. I would advise him to get away for that end.
Great penalty.
You know, it's a magnificent penalty, wasn't it?
Should never have been a penalty kick, though.
I don't think so. No, definitely not. I think it's a foul, actually. I think Montagno has fouled Chocolate at the back post.
He's certainly climbing. His hands all over him. He looks like he's using them as a bit of leverage to get some height.
Yeah, he's all over him.
Yeah, just too little, too late from Davy Martindale's side. A great result last weekend, coming back against St Johnstone at home. And my goodness, what a shot this would be tonight if they can hang on and get the victory. Just watching that again, that's a brilliant penalty, isn't it?
Oh. It is. He takes quite a long run up, and then there's quite a process involved with his steps and manages to get his feet right just in time to lash it into that top corner. The goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance.
It's a bit of the Tavernier style, wasn't it? 2 or 3 steps before he blasts it home. Wait till you see the Hibs one. We've had a look at it.
Right. Talk me through it.
It's harsh.
Is it?
I think Stuart, well, put it this way, I'm looking forward to Stuart Kettlewell's post-match.
He's not been holding back this season, has he, Stuart Kettle? He's had a lot to say in some of the refereeing decisions. Let's get back to...
Just on that, I mean, Dodgy makes a good point. I mean, you... likewise, I've just seen it not that long ago. Stephen O'Donnell, when you actually, exactly, but also when you're looking at how he moved, like his arm moves down
to turn.
Yeah, like if you just simply understand what's going on the park at that moment, you realise that it's not a penalty kick. And likewise, what Willie's talking about at Pittodrie, he's been fouled. Sokler's arm goes out. Like, I don't understand how the officials don't see that and give, the context is important.
The difficult bit there is, what's a natural position when someone's climbing on your back?
Yeah,
where is your arm supposed to be?
Or when you're turning, when that's what O'Donnell does so close.
And he's only a yard away from him when he plays the ball.
A good viewing tonight in sports scene.
There's no intent. They've got to change the rule a little bit to kind of make sure there's a bit of intent in actually handling the ball, or they're seeking some kind of advantage. When somebody barges into your back and you're falling forward, naturally your hand's got to go somewhere, and that's what happened there. And it did come up in front of his face perhaps, and it comes through. I think it's taking a little deflection in front of him as well, which makes it even worse. So he can't get his hand out the way.
Am I right in thinking, Willie, as well, that the ball, because it's very difficult with the small picture there, but am I right in thinking that Sokler is in front of the ball facing, the other way, so it's come from behind them? Is that right?
It's come No, Sokler's facing where the ball's coming from, but there's two players in front of Sokler.
Yeah.
And the cross comes in, and it takes a little deflection off of one of the players. Sokler gets pushed in the back. He goes forward, he takes his hand up in front of his face, and it does brush his hand, but you know, it's a deflection that takes the ball onto his hand. Plus, in my opinion, I think he's getting fouled at the back post.
Right, let's get back to McDermott Park. What's happening there, Alan?
Ross County dominating again. St Johnstone can't get up the park. When they do, they just boot it long. It's a DB. Nothing. Honestly, Ross County should be out of sight. This game should be over. St Johnstone should be in the playoffs.
What options
and that's
does he
the
have
only
on the
saving
bench,
grace. He's got Kusharave, Olafunwa, Smith, Kimpioka, Franzak, Smith, Considine. The only positive that you can take of getting beat tonight and in the playoffs, you can rest players, is where the likes of Wraith Rovers and Thistle can't. So you'd imagine a lot of these players, if they are in it, a lot of these players won't play Sunday.
I'm looking at that St Johnstone side, and I'm now, looking at it and thinking, that's not a bad side. When you look at the personnel, they're obviously just devoid of confidence, and it, as Alan's talking about, it becomes a little bit one-dimensional. Obviously the pressure. Craig
Levine looks flat in the touchline to me. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of energy there for the players to feed off.
No, there's not. But I mean, look, the other thing is St Johnstone. If you look at, and I know it doesn't matter, but if you look at Livy now, if they win that game, they're closing the gap on St Johnstone, and you think to yourself, over a normal season, what you would regard with Livy, they would have been. St Johnstone would have been in serious trouble of going down. And we've already spoken about Ross County with the Derek Adams experiment that was a disaster. They would have been safe a long time ago.
If he hadn't been in charge.
So, from St Johnstone's perspective, they're actually fortunate that Ross County had Derek Adams in charge for a little bit, and Livy have had a season from hell, really, because what you would regard as what happened to Livy this season is not what you would normally have seen from them. So it looks like they're going to be going into the playoffs, and as Alan's talking about, they're going to have to sort of shift their attention from the weekend to next week with whoever it is that they may well be coming up against, Wraith Rovers or Partick Thistle.
Who do you think it'll be? You were at the game last night, Rovers with the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, look, funnily enough, if you'd said to Ian Murray before the game, would you take 2-1, he would have snapped their hand off, obviously, to go back to Starks Park with a lead. But the way that the game panned out, Wraith Rovers were so on top, so dominant at 2-0, and then they lose a goal from nothing, really, and then Partick Thistle are coming right back into the game. He would have felt a little bit irked and disappointed with how it transpired. So Partick Thistle will gain a bit of confidence from keeping the game within touching distance, but you've got to look at Wraith Rovers and think that they are the favourites. They've got the goal advantage, they're back home as well, and they're a side that are really they're really intense in terms of being able to go and open teams up.
Yeah, a very impressive campaign for Ian Murray's side. What's happening in Paisley? St Mirren up against
equaliser!
Yes, Hoilett.
Who is it?
Hoilett with a free kick. No, it's Hoilett. It's Junior, my other favourite winger. Junior Hoilett. He just takes the little dink over the top of the wall, nestles into the back of the net. It's a delicate one, but it's precise. Its precision is out there, and it's only what Aberdeen deserve. It's a good free kick, that, isn't it?
Lovely.
Get him signed up for next year.
Yeah, he's been very impressive since he came in, brought in, of course, by Neil Warnock.
Is that your new McGinn or Hayes?
That free kick's with
Goal!
Yes, go.
Matt O'Reilly again. Kuhn's done fantastically well down the side of the pitch, rolls it back. O'Reilly finds a space in the box.
He's so cool, isn't he? I mean,
so calm in the box.
That composure there. I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Absolutely. And listen, that's the way he's been playing. As you say, give the ball away. The first pass, straight forward, out to Kuhn. Kuhn attacks him. O'Reilly, look at him, he just finds the space. He doesn't run in with all the defenders, just holds his run. And that's the difference. He just sees the space. Everybody's going back. He stands, first touch, and then slides into the corner. Fantastic play.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's his movement and it's his intelligent play. Sometimes you don't need to sprint to get into areas. Sometimes just by holding your position, you're going to allow yourself a bit of time, and the Kelly defenders all drop off, and as the ball's dropped back to him, he's just so composed. He's got the time just to find the corner, and he's been doing it all season. He's just been finding those pockets of space. He knows when to move out into the wide areas. He knows when to come into the middle, and he just always seems to find those areas.
Yeah, go. Who was that?
Yeah, Martin Boyle. Game, set and match now at Easter Road, Kenny. This time on his left. Maeda again, always involved. Great ball at the back post. Just comes through to Martin Boyle, and then he just shifts. Looked like he was going to go on the outside on his right. Just chops back inside on his left. Down to Liam Kelly's left-hand side. Game, set and match at Easter Road.
What's worked for them tonight? Is there anything that you've seen that's different under David Gray this evening, Kevin?
Listen, there wasn't much in it in the first half, Kenny. We kind moments. Motherwell have made a change. Harry Payton come on at half-time. Sam Nicholson went underneath the ball a wee bit to try and support Bear up front, so they changed slightly to more of a rigid three with Spittle dropping back, with Andy Halliday going off. But Hibs have played really comfortable, really. They've tried to make the pitch wide with Louis Stevenson and Cadden on the outsides. Joe Newell, Triantis, they've had control really in the middle of the pitch. I think that's why Kettlewell's made his changes at half-time, but it's been easy street, really. The goals have been simple.
Yeah, no doubt at all about that. Martin Boyle second of the game. Hibs leading Motherwell 3 goals now. Another chance?
Chance for Bear. Oh, it just comes for nothing. Just comes across the face of the box. He actually holds his run, Bear. A good save for Warracott. Down to his left-hand side. And then the rebound comes back to Harry Payton and just can't quite get his foot round it. Hits into the side netting.
Right, let's get to Paisley. St Mirren home to Hearts. Kenny Miller, what's happening?
Yeah, not a lot, Kenny, to be honest with you. It's been a really flat second half, I'd say. We're just past the hour mark now, 61 minutes. Both managers have went to their bench. Double substitutions just before the hour for St Mirren. It was James Scott and Jayden Brown went off, and Caelan Boyd-Munce and Olasanya came on. For Hearts, it was Cam Devlin and Alan Forrest went off, and Lawrence Shanklin is on, and Macaulay Tate also. So Lawrence Shanklin's got half an hour, see if he can get his 30th goal of the season for Hearts tonight.
What do you think of Sean Rooney signing on at St Mirren? A decent bit of business, do you think, Kenny?
That's a really good signing. A player that knows the league. He's had good success in the league. I think he'll actually fit right into how they actually play as well. Going on that right-hand side, up and down all day, gives you a goal threat, great energy, good size as well. It'll be a welcome addition back to the league.
Yeah, it's a really interesting game now at McDermott Park. Is there a real sense of frustration, Alan, as I say, out of position there as you're in among the home fans?
They're just not turned up. Yeah, and there's 2 or 3 fans in front of me going absolutely crazy, as you can imagine, not happy at all. But they've been outplayed, outclassed, outfought. You know, when you think that this is a last chance saloon really for St Johnstone, if they lose, that's them. And they've not turned up, they've not performed. The keeper has, I've got to say that, as he takes another corner comfortably, but the rest of them have just not. It's been really, really poor. They've made a change. They've brought on Kim Pioka, he's come on, Stevie May's gone off, but nothing still, absolutely nothing.
What happens if, just with regards to the takeover from, is it Andrew Webb, with if they go down? Alan, any insight?
No, Michael, honestly, I wouldn't know. But I think it's almost done. As far as I spoke to Jeff a few weeks ago, he said that was just about there. And I think a lot of it is to do with the land as well, more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's getting 20 acres of land. So, you know, the club is probably, I wouldn't say insignificant in the deal.
It's an add-on.
It's not the be-all and end-all as a club yet.
Yeah. I mean, I've got serious concerns for St Johnstone if they go into the playoffs and go down. You know, just in terms of... It's been such a well-run
I agree with you, Michael.
Such a well-run club for so long. And, you know, on a tight ship in terms of, you know, not big budgets, but you think about the job that was done for so many years, and getting into Europe, top 6, winning cups, and if they are to go down, I really do fear for, you know, St Johnstone's ability to be able to compete financially, to be able to get back up to the top
It's
flight.
such a good point, isn't it, Alan? Because Michael raised it there. If St Johnstone do go down into the Championship, as you said, it may be a different story if Jeff Brown was still in charge. And he wouldn't have sold the club, I'm sure, to someone he didn't think was absolutely going to do his best for the club. But if St Johnstone remain in the Championship for a few years, it'll be interesting to see what happens then, how long this guy stays interested in it.
Well, that's the thing, you know. If Jeff had been here, I've got no doubt it would be.
Yes, yes, Kenny.
Yeah, it was a cross from Boyd Munce again, just on. He's just put a free kick into the box of diagonal. Mandron heads it out, and then gets cleared, but it comes straight back to Boyd Munce, and he just whips an incredible ball. The shape on this ball, it just takes Craig Gordon and the Hearts defence right out of the equation, and I think it's right on the head of James Baldwin, who just heads it down and past Craig Gordon. 2-1 St Mirren.
That's exactly it. Boyd Munce's ball's fantastic, and Kenny's spot on. It's just right on Bolton's head, and he ends up being about 5 yards out. It's the cross that does it, though.
That's an incredible cross, Mike. It looks like Craig maybe has a step, but I think the pace that it goes in, and it actually whips like the arc on it from right behind it, and it's going towards Craig, but then just completely, it just bends right round with pace right onto the head of James Bolton.
It's too flat for Craig, a goalie, to come out. It's not like he's got a great deal of height on it. It's really flat. Great ball from Boyd Munce.
So on point, he just has to direct it back where it comes from.
So that goal coming on 65 minutes, St Mirren 2, Hearts 1. James Bolton with that goal. Newcastle United have equalised away at Man United. Anthony Gordon on 49 minutes. Alan, back yourself in terms of the new owner coming into St Johnstone if they do end up in the Championship.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. He's a very wealthy man, but you don't get to that amount of wealth that he's got if you're a fool, so I can't see him throwing money at it. We'll just have to wait and see, Kenny, how it transpires, but I'm sure that Jeff's done all the due diligence that he's had to on the guy at all, because he wouldn't want to hand this club over that he's had for nearly 40 years to someone that is going to run it into the ground. But you just never know. You genuinely don't know, and it's like absent owners, really, because they're based in America, and that's the problem that they've got. Just as I say that, they've got a chance. No, should have hit it. Unlucky, actually. Sidibe with the effort there. Hits it over the bar.
Alan,
that's Kim Fioka, actually.
Alan, memories of your senior debut?
Oh, Falkirk Brockville, 16-year-old, just signed a new 8-year contract on 2 balloons and a stick. We got £1,000. We got £1,000 for winning the game because Jim McLean hated Falkirk. We beat them 2-1, and it got me to Benidorm for a week.
And you've never looked back.
Exactly.
These contracts were legendary, weren't they?
Mine's just run out in the summer.
Was it you said, going back to St Johnstone now, was it you that said the other week there about to go down there'll be no real favourite in the Championship? Was it you that said that?
Yeah, I honestly, because we don't know this new owner. That's the thing, Billy. I don't think there'll be, if St Johnstone go down, I can't see there being a clear favourite. It probably will be St Johnstone because they're coming down. But it's a full-time championship for the first time in many years. There's no Arbroath, no part-time clubs, and it'll be a difficult one to pick a winner.
Yeah, we shall find out if it is Wraith Rovers
and one of these as well, Kenny, remember, coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, Chick. Anything at all, Inverness, Cali Thistle. I'm also interested, Chick. I'm also interested in managers on the touchline. What's Big Duncan like this evening?
Yeah, he's been pretty calm in the first half. He's made 2 half. We're way behind the other games. It was a 8:05 kick-off. We've just started the second half. It's 2-0 to Hamilton Accies from the first half. He made 2 half-time substitutions. Charlie Gilmore, Billy was talking about him, Moz Duffy going off, and James Carricker and Samson Lawal came on at half-time. Also one change, incidentally, for the Accies. Burjonis went off, and Marley Redfern came off. There was a big discussion at half-time. I noticed Mark Ridgers having a real conversation about that goal. There's no doubt in my mind, history will prove me correct, it's an own goal by Mark Ridgers, that first one. Great effort from the halfway line, but it came off the post onto the goalkeeper and into net. So Inverness have got to be determined. I think if it stays 2-0, you'd have to say that Accies have really will be a grip on the progress in terms of what's going on. There's a big they made an announcement at half time about running buses up to Inverness on Saturday for the games, a tea time kick-off, remember. So they're hoping to get a big Accies support. Huge support in here tonight, Kenny. Still 2-0 to the Accies.
Yeah, Chicken, I need to ask you, memories of your first game attended as a young reporter. What was the headline?
After seat just opens.
And a lovely fellow he was.
Go on, Chick, what was the memory?
Oh, I can't. Listen, I've got all sorts of memories, Kenny, and I'm not sharing them with you.
Wait for the boot biscuits. You'd buy that, wouldn't you?
Oh, exactly.
Say that again.
His line's brilliant. His line is brilliant. 10 grand not to be in it.
I've paid mine.
I've got a few takers out.
I know you will have.
Right, okay, so Hamilton Accies in control of that game against Inverness Cali Thistle. Let's get to Rugby Park. It's been an absolute procession there this evening for Brendan Rodgers' side, Peter.
Yes, it has been. There's been a lot of changes, but it's not really changed anything on the pitch, to be perfectly honest. Celtic have changed their front five, really. 2 midfielders plus a front three. Kelly have just done similar. Taken Watkins off now and put Van Veen on. So it's not really changed much. Celtic have just been totally dominant. And to be fair, the substitutes like Palmer and that went on and kept the pace of the game up. Kyogo's looked sharp. And to be fair, they've all done their job tonight, and Brendan will be delighted. Listen, it's the most agitated I've probably seen Brendan, even at the side of the park, demanding the players more and more all the time.
Yeah, go.
What a fun. Oh, offside. Jumped the gun. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We're just seeing a replay here. Goal from ball in the net from Motherwell.
It's a great finish, to be fair, for Bear. Lovely play for Lennon Muller to start with. By the way, he's been a joy to watch, Kenny.
Yeah.
He's been the shining star for Motherwell. He's played a pass in the first half with outside his foot. He flicked one round the corner. He's been starved with service, but he found himself a wee bit further up the pitch there that time. Just lovely wee flick round the corner for Bear. It's actually a brilliant finish, but it looks like he was just half a yard offside.
Here we are. Here,
it's one of those, it was closer, because yes, it's half a yard. You're right, Kenny. Good decision.
Yeah, offside there. So Motherwell trying to get back into the game, but Hibs going very, very well under David Gray this evening. 3-0 at home to Motherwell. My leader with a penalty in 41 and a double from Martin Boyle. Yeah, chance again.
Nearly a fantastic OG there for Wright. A great play by Celtic down the side of the pitch. A great ball in. Bernardo, I'm sure it was Bernardo, and Wright smashed it off his own bar. You know,
there was a bit of panic in that one, Peter, wasn't there?
Oh, I was saying, Dodgy, they've just been so good, you know, moving the ball. The midfield, as I say, Alistair Johnston's followed his best game for a few weeks, to be perfectly honest with you. Attacking wise, he's played the ball forward a lot quicker. He stopped crosses, things that I'm very questionable about. I think he lets too many crosses in, but he never gave either winger who came over to test him a cross in the box. So everybody has been 7 and above, and that's all you need in games like this, and they've totally dominated the match.
Brighton 0, Chelsea 2, and Nkunku with the second goal there on 64 minutes. Kenny Miller, memories of your senior debut?
Yep, 1997, Hibs v Motherwell. I came on with I think maybe 15-20 minutes to go. We went 1-0 up. Oh man, just as I came in, this is an incredible finish for that man, and he gets his 30th goal for Hearts this season. It's a corner in for Cochrane, and it just gets flicked on at the front post. I think it's actually a St Mirren player that flicks on, but as it's going away for the goal, right through the back, it just, Lawrence Shanklin's peeled off, and he just hooks it back over his head with his right boot, right over the goalkeeper, into the far corner, and I think he's just telling the Hearts fans that that's his 30th goal this season. 30 for club, 31 for club and country. It's an incredible finish. But get back to important things here. We'll talk about my debut back in 97. We went 1-0 up for a corner. Darren Dodds scored. And that day, we were on a double bonus. So it's amazing how some of the bonuses come into this conversation. But we were on a double bonus that day because we were on 7 straight defeats. And we're 1-0 up, and it's the 90th minute. And I think it might have been Tommy Coyne or Dougie Arnott, or someone had a shot, and Big Ollie gets scalps in straight at him, fumbles it, and Owen Coyle slams it into the roof of the net for 1-1 and done me out in 900 quid. Devastated I was.
You know, chance to look at
you didn't get to go to Benidorm.
I never got to go to Benidorm. I was going to Scarborough.
You had a chance to look at that Shanklin goal.
Oh, it's
brilliant.
Mike, you got it's incredible. Just a natural goal scorer.
That's exactly it.
He just knows where the goal is, guys, doesn't he? He knows. He's just helping it into. He knows what area he wants to hit it, and he knows the kind of the shot he wants. Top finisher.
Man United 2, Newcastle United 1. Diallo with that goal on 57 minutes, and just confirmation, Lawrence Shankland with the equaliser for Hearts away at St Mirren.
Captain Chiney. Great delivery in from Hoilett. I was speaking about that before the game, and he whips it in from the corner on the right hand side. Not too sure who it is. Is it Is it the big Nottingham that misses it somehow? It comes over his head and Shinnie
Nobody's
dives in.
marking him.
Zono, is it for Livy? Is? I'm not sure.
Who's marking
It looks like
Shinnie?
Zono because he's unmarked.
But that's a zone you're going to want to have a player in, because it's almost central. It's an outswinging corner and he's got a lot of pace on it. It's got a dip right at the correct time for Shinnie, and I think with the players as they rush to the front post, Shinnie just kind of comes late. I think
Terrible.
He starts his run at the edge of the box.
It's Nottingham. I mean, he's what is he, 8'5" or something like that, and he manages to miss it. How does he? Can you explain that to me, guys? How does he miss that ball in the air? I mean, he sees it. There's no anybody in front of him. He just takes himself right under it. I mean, I would think that Shinnie sees it a little bit late, but he should clear that. Anyway, Shinnie dives in at the back post. 2-1 Aberdeen.
It's a good diving header for Shinnie.
Yeah.
Really good. But you're right, Nottingham, you know, he's whatever he is, 6'7", and he jumps 6 foot.
I know.
But Willie, this has been a theme for you this season. You've mentioned a lot the standard defending across the board. You're wondering what on earth these guys are doing in training.
No, I think coaches, really concentrate on the build-up play with defenders. And I don't think that it doesn't look as though they work with a defensive 4 or a defensive 3. It looks as though it's pretty much left to the individual to defend, and a lot of the defending isn't particularly good 1v1 either. So listen, it's brilliant for the game because it's going to lead to goals and at least the excitement. But as far as me being a purist in terms of defensive capabilities, I don't see a lot of good capabilities in our game, and that is an example of it.
How would you have fancied Zono, Willie, if you were tasked to do it?
Well, I did, and it was at international level, and a guy called Hansen that was asked to do it.
Dodgy.
And I think I think that about sums it up. Dodgy.
Okay.
So, not for me.
Yeah.
I always found that easier to play against, and when you're attacking, I always found
absolutely
Zono. I loved it because you then get a run on the defenders. You get a run on them.
Tell me what the advantages are then. Why do so many managers use it?
I don't know why you would use it. I think it maybe depends on the clientele that you've got as defenders, but for me, your centre-backs are usually most comfortable when they can get in a physical battle, so when they can get close to defenders. So for me, I would always go man for man. Yes, there are areas where you do need to be zonal.
That's the third goal.
Yes, Hoilett.
It's a little free kick, a little slip down the side. Polvara onto it with his left foot, and he just rifles it in off the keeper into the back of the net. So this whole game's been turned round. Last home game of the season, so it's sending the fans home with an appetite for next season, I would suggest.
Well, just to clarify, it was the zonal marking that was not for you, yeah?
Is he going to answer that?
No, sorry.
He's asking. He's just saying, just to clarify, was it the zonal marking you're saying was not for you? That wee story you told.
Rather than any other individual.
Well, he liked to play. When we're talking about zonal, I'm maybe a little bit confused because zonal at set pieces is different from zonal, in general play. And Hansen liked to play one side and his partner played the other side, whereas when I played with Alec went, he was the first man, and I played either side. I played right and left, so that's what I was meaning there.
So, what would you least prefer most, Zonal or Alan Hansen?
It's funny, Bill, how it was Hansen and Alec.
Listen, you've all saw it, so just get on with your lives, eh?
I was there, I had to watch it.
What did Hansen say about it, Chip?
Can't remember it.
I think it was the end of his international career.
Is this one of the highlights in the Icon episode?
I think it's mentioned very briefly.
Well, just on a serious note for Aberdeen, and we touched on this at the start of the programme, Peter Leaving, an absolutely fantastic job, and he hands over the reins to the new manager. They're in very good form, a confident side once again. You said all season there's a real squad there, and the good news is that he's going to be part of the new manager's squad, Peter Leaving. Yes, it is, yeah. I mean, they couldn't do anything else, surely. I wouldn't have expected them to do anything else, a club like Aberdeen, but to make sure that Peter Leaving's got a role to play in the first team.
you know, so that's great news. As far as the individual players, yeah, but we don't know. Aberdeen hasn't confirmed. I mean, Baron might be away, Majowski might be away. There's a number there of players that could, you know, want to leave the club. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there. But, you know, I've said all season, I think individually Aberdeen have got a number of very talented players, but as a team, in their league campaign, it's been very, very poor.
I don't want to, you know, regurgitate the conversation we were having about Jimmy Tilleen and, you know, when best for him have come in. But I was going to make the point about perhaps if he was able to work with some of those players before the summer comes around, maybe that could have had an influence, or may that well have had an influence on some of those guys and the decision that they were going to make.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't see the final score. I saw his Elfsborg side. I think we're cruising earlier on. I think it was about 6 o'clock kickoff. I've not been across the final score, but it certainly popped up in the video printer. We're going to cross to Rugby Park shortly. There'll be a huge cheer there. So just time Kevin Thompson for memories of your debut.
Well, I put me on the spot, Kenny. Dens Park, 1-1 draw. I cannot remember too much about that apart from Craig Burley got sent off, which was the luckiest start you could ever wish
must
for.
Be. Must be. It is. It's another one for the Dons.
Wow.
It's a bit of a rout now. I think it's Duke.
Just
I think it is Duke. It's good work by Shinnie though. Shinnie breaks it up. No, it's Hoilett. It's Hoilett that gets it.
He's been good.
He has been good, been very good. But Graham Shinnie presses the ball, real high press, slips it into Hoilett, who slots it. David Martindale, just seen her. He's just shaking his head, can't believe it. Can't believe how they've just disintegrated. But Shinnie makes it. It's a lovely little pass in. He's not offside, and he finishes it really well with the right foot.
Yeah, just when we touched on Jimmy Tilleen a few weeks ago, 6-1 victory tonight. 3 of their last 4 in the league they have got victories from. So he's going to come in good form as well. So it's June next month that he comes into Aberdeen, and there is no doubt at all the reaction I've seen on social media, the reaction we've had from fans of Aberdeen and this football club. There's a lot of positivity around that appointment. Certainly something different. Interesting to see how he does. So what, 2 minutes to go, Peter Grant, and it is going to be absolutely electric there. The scenes behind the goal where these Celtic fans are. It's been a rocky season. At times they've not been at their brilliant best. The manager has come out a few times talking about certain narratives being created. He had a pop at the media post-match on Saturday, but he always said, judge me at the end of the season, and he has delivered.
Absolutely, and it's the first time I've heard him chanting his name all season. And the fans were chanting his name and whatever, and as I say, it's the most tense I've seen Brendan, and it sounds bizarre because he's urging the players on all the time. If they don't press the ball, even as isolating 5-0 up, he's going crazy. If they give the ball away, he's right on their case. So it's the standards he's probably set with these guys and the demands he's putting on them, but it's been an outstanding performance. It's been a champion's performance. Thoroughly deserved on the evening, obviously, and over the piece, the best team always wins a league. And a chance here again, Farmer, block. Over the piece, we always talk about the best team win it. It's not been vintage, but you've got to find a way, and they've found a way in the difficult times to go here and win the championship when it's counted.
Yeah, I was saying, Peter, and yourself and Pat Bonner are in total agreement. Pat was saying it on Saturday, you were in Saturday evening with us. The thing now is back Brendan Rodgers to kick on from here in the summer. They're going to take a fortune from the participation in the newly formed Champions League format.
Absolutely, and listen, the boys playing tonight, Matt O'Reilly, they know we talked about Atletico Madrid in the Christmas window. They talk about now, will he go in the summer? Maybe he's got that agreement with Celtic, we don't know that, but it'll take some money to shift him. He's got a 5-year deal, and that gives it, there it is, Celtic champions. Final whistles went, that's it. The fans are going crazy. I'm surprised the Celtic boys are just as if, well, we knew it was done, but thoroughly deserved on this evening's performance. But as I say, talk about Riley, maybe that's where more money comes from, because his performance this evening, obviously, when you go over the line, it's frightening because they slog to get there. Even the centenary season, we had to go on a fantastic run to do that. Even the one at Paisley, Hearts were a magnificent side, and one, I don't know, about 26 games in the bounce. And then we won it in the last 2 minutes, and when Albert Kidd came on and obviously get the 2 goals. So that's how far it went. Was so remarkable memories, fantastic memories. And listen, it's one thing you never get sick of, is winning games. And the demands at Celtic and Rangers, is to win every trophy that's out there, and that's what you've got to do, and that is the difference. Who can wear the jersey, who can carry the jersey, and these Celtic boys have done that, and great credit to them. As I say, it's not been a vintage season, but the prize is to win the league, and that's what they've done.
Peter, can you remember who the goalkeeper for St Mirren that day was?
Jim Stewart.
It was indeed.
I remember him having the ball in his hand.
Campbell Murray got injured in the warm-up, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Jim had the ball in his hand when it comes through the kit and scored.
You need to explain that. You need to explain that.
Well, it's obviously
in the box, and he fired that home, and suddenly there's a lifeline for the Highland Club. Aki's still leading by 2-1, but that goal is rattled in by Adrian Petpool, and it is 2-1 to Hamilton Accies.
And Trent, just to confirm, was a later start for you, what, sort of 20-25 minutes to go?
We have, exactly, if you bear with me 1 second, because I'm playing for time to give you the time.
Get the socks and shoes off.
You would think after all these years there's a
68 minutes, 68
no.
minutes.
68 minutes.
Who did you ask?
Petley with the goal there. There's an interesting message coming from an Inverness Cali Thistle supporter, Billy. We'll get that in a minute. She's listening to the programme tonight, watching the game, and she's got a point that I'll put to you in just 1 second. I just want to go back. I'm seeing Cal McGregor on the screen there now, Michael. Talk to us about Celtic and how difficult it's going to be now. If Celtic do things properly in the summer, for Rangers to stay in touch with them next season.
Well, there's lots of ifs, buts and maybes. I mean, there's a big summer for Rangers, regardless of what Celtic do. You know, Rangers have got a big rebuild on to try to rectify, you know, the disappointing recruitment that they had last summer with Michael Beale. But certainly, you know, if you look at Celtic and with their full team available, they're going to have to strengthen in certain areas, as we've already spoken about, for Europe. So inevitably, if they do that well, it makes the task for Rangers all the more important that they get the recruitment right. They've got no, you know, we've said this before, the margin for error for Rangers is very, very small for them to be able to close the gap on Celtic. This season, due to injuries and inconsistency, they were able to, you know, do very well and close that gap. But I think everybody recognises that Celtic's team is better than Rangers' team, so big summer for Rangers to effectively get the recruitment right, so that they stand themselves in good stead with the chance to push Celtic next season.
You can hear the celebrations down there at Rugby Park. You will hear live from Brendan Rodgers on Sports, and stay tuned for that, Billy. Just this message has come in from Aileen Clifford. She is an Inverness Cali Thistle fan. She's listened to the programme. She said, you were asking about managers. Big Dunk was shown on TV telling Billy Mackay to get back into midfield. This is the reason my team is getting relegated. Poor, says Aileen. And I've seen a lot of Inverness fans, Billy, question some of the tactics, the setup of the side.
Every manager's got different tactics.
Yeah. Right.
And Duncan does like Billy going back in and touching the ball, but I think Billy's an out-and-out striker, and if you put him forward, he'll score goals. And he got the goal against Montrose by... It was a set piece, and he's in the box and he reacts to a flick on. That's Billy Mackay all over. But everybody, I'm not going to ever go at Duncan Ferguson. Everybody has different tactics, so his is to have plenty of the ball, but it's starved them with goals and getting their main goal scorer forward.
Well, Pepley has given them a lifeline there. Hamilton Accies 2, Inverness Cali Thistle 1, the first leg of the Championship playoff final. Chick Young is there for us. We'll hear more news and we'll get a full-time report. Let's just get round the grounds again. Let's get to the game of McDermott Park. So much at stake there. What have we seen from the home side? Any chance of a fight back, Alan Preston?
Absolutely no chance, Kenny. It's been really poor from St Johnstone again. It's been comfortable for Ross County. They've contained St Johnstone. Not that they've had much to contain, but they've just played it really well. The St Johnstone fans are going mental now booing, not happy. The county fans are jumping up and down as we go into the 90th minute here. They're almost there, but St Johnstone are going into this playoff with a whimper. They've been really poor, created very, very little, and they're lucky that it's 1-0. Meathoff has saved them so far, but I think the time wasting has been a little bit, so I would imagine that the fourth official will put up maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes possibly. The referee has on numerous occasions has booked a couple for time wasted for Ross County, but they've done a very professional job so far.
Any sign of a winner in Paisley?
As I say that, St Johnstone have equalised.
Wow.
Unbelievable. It's a header into the box. I think it's from Sidibe, I think.
Some header.
It's just a ball in and he just gets on the end of it, heads it in. Wow. This will keep us going to Sunday.
Well, indeed. Because, as Alan was saying, every time you looked up at Ross County, it looked like they were at it. They were pressurising St Johnstone. They looked the ones that were, you know, as Alan said.
And there was no chance of a comeback.
Again. No! Fletcher Boyd once more. Fifth goal for the youngster. Drives through the middle, plays a little give and go, gets his head over it, slots it into the back of the net.
Oh, what a step over as well.
It was hardly any backlift in that finish.
What's that?
It was hardly any backlift from him, Willie, when he got into that position. Just hit it so early the goalkeeper's rooted.
Just so direct as well, isn't it?
It's great striker play, like he steps over it, he turns, he's back onto the ball, gets onto it, drives at them.
2-2 thanks to Kenny Miller. And I'm sure, Julie, it's the case when a youngster comes into the team like that, it gives the whole team a lift, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, because they sometimes can play without any fear. He's in there to show what he can do. He's playing in that kind of in that central midfield role, but he almost plays like a striker. When the ball comes in, he steps over it, he looks for the layoff, and then he's just driving with the ball. There's only one thing he wants to do when he's driving at the Livingston defence, and that's get a shot away. You just wonder if the goalkeeper wasn't sighted because he barely moves from the spot.
He put the defender's legs, Julie, but that's don't try and take anything away from young Boyd. It's what we said, Mike. He gets to 20 yards. Julie, I think he's just going to take another touch, but he just shot, quick backlift, some power on it.
That's a great goal. Because that's not the easiest as well. When you're running with the ball like that, the ball's pretty central as well. It's not as if it's, you know, you're coming at an angle. The ball's right between his feet almost. And to get the strike away so cleanly like that, and
that's it all over. 5-1 here at Rodgers.
Thanks to Willie. Just a reminder, Livingston scored first there. A dubious penalty, you'd have to say, Tete Yengi, but what a comeback from Aberdeen. A convincing 5-1 victory, and another wonderful moment for young Fletcher Boyd, scoring there right at the death. Game on, my goodness, at McDermott Park, Billy Dodds.
It's the one, we're trying to look at them all, but it's the one with my eyes on, and I was like Alan, and I'm listening to him, and there's nothing much happening. Just some crosses get in the box, some clearances just help into the box, see if they could get a break, and they eventually, you know, from nothing, just take the throw in, the swing in the box. It's a great header, and somehow they're right back in it.
It's a sickener for Ross County because obviously they're looking at a couple of minutes away from being definitively safe.
Yeah.
And now, you know, it rumbles on to the last game.
And they've been so positive, as you've been saying, Michael, the whole match, Don Cowie side.
Yeah, they have. Now, but look, the flip side is for St Johnstone, they've been so poor, but they're getting something out of the game just now, whereas at the weekend, they were pretty good, should have been out of sight, and they lost it. It's like I said before, the performance at this stage is pretty irrelevant. It's just the result that counts. Now, they obviously would rather 3 points, but at least they were staring the player spot in the face, and now they've got a point and they can take it to the last game unless they can clock with a winner.
Michael.
What was that?
They've got a corner. St Johnstone have got a corner now, and they're throwing everybody forward. Apart from the keeper, everyone's within 35 yards of that goal. You know, it's incredible if they can snatch this.
You're deep in the stoppage time.
We're all but done. That's it now. We're all but done. We're at 4 minutes added on. We're nearly done. Header goes wide of the target. No chance. And this brings into the scenario I've been saying that St Johnstone fans are dreading, that Theo Bair turns up on Sunday and puts him into that playoff spot. Honestly, they're all panicking that that's the case. He had a dreadful time here at St Johnstone. He's been brilliant at Motherwell. Yeah. And it just happens in Scottish football.
Nice to see the pictures of Stevenson and Hanlon coming through there. Yeah, because you go to the fans and it is emotion, your family's there, and then the players around you, it can get to you.
We watched that last night at Ibrox. We saw Kemar Rufus or Borna Barisic going round, soaking up the final moments, but that is of nothing compared to these two guys in the history they've got at Hibernian Football Club, isn't it? I mean, these guys, Michael, you'll know them both, terrific servants. Listen, they may still have a part to play, given there's been a change of management, but that they're getting their due rewards there tonight in the park at the final whistle.
Yeah, well, thankfully it's been a good performance and result, and they can, you know, they can enjoy the moment. But yeah, you're right. It's they're due a lot of respect from the club, the supporters, and I think you know, quite clearly they are getting that from the supporters, and thankfully they've got you know, some family and friends that will be there to enjoy the occasion. It's yeah, it's long and illustrious careers for Hibs. They've obviously been able to pick up silverware as well, which is massive for them, and hopefully
full time at McDermott Park, 1-1, and it goes on to Sunday.
I'm just going to say, hopefully they can, you know, continue to enjoy their careers elsewhere. If not, the club have a change of heart, because it'll need to be the club to have a change of heart for them to stay.
I think the club will have to sell it to them that they're maybe going to have a part still playing, though. I was speaking to Lewis Stevenson. I think there is something there for him, coaching-wise, but he still wants to play, and I can totally understand that, and I'm sure Paul Hanlon's the same.
Saw Raith Rovers mentioned somewhere as a possibility. Anyway, we'll see what develops here. Still playing in the game, Kevin?
Yeah, it's just fizzled out a wee bit, Kenny, to be fair, but what an applause the two boys got, and just echoing what Mikey said, humble, respectful, brilliant servants, deserve everything they get, great lads, and they've seen the highs, they've seen the lows, but there's no doubt that they're massively appreciated within the fan base, and listen, they'll be hard to replace. It's going to be a big task to try and have that blood within the club.
So just looking at the final fixtures at the weekend, Celtic crowned champions this evening. It was all but done on Saturday, but my goodness, they did it in style this evening. 5-0 away. Come on, they're at home to St Mirren.
Full time at Easter Road, Kenny.
Thanks to Kevin Johnstone, they're a convincing victory for the home side. So on Saturday, 3 games. It's the top half of the table. 12:30 starts. Celtic at home to St Mirren, Dundee at home to Kilmarnock, Hearts at home to Rangers. Sunday, the 19th of May, 3 o'clock starts. Livingston at home to Hibs, and then it gets really interesting. Motherwell at home to St Johnstone, Ross County at home to Aberdeen, Billy Dodds. Very difficult to call. It's going to be one of these really tense, nervy days. It's going to be a real test of the character of these players on both sides.
Yeah, and although Aberdeen are hitting a bit of form and they're looking favourites, just desperation can get you to win games at times, and Ross County, they're at home, they'll take it to them. They know that a win just keeps them safe. St Johnstone, you know, Motherwell have been going well under Stuart Kettlewell. I know they've lost tonight, but sometimes desperation, you just somehow win games that you're not expected to at times. So the pressure is certainly on, and it's on those two to try and win it, not just get something out of it. A draw is not going to be enough for St Johnstone. They need to win. Ross County know they have to go and win just to make sure and walk off the pitch and we're safe. So there's all sorts of emotions going on when it comes to those two games.
Obviously, you look at the goal difference as well. Johnstone have got a better goal difference.
Yeah,
so
3 better, isn't it?
If they were able to win the game and Ross County were getting a draw, they'd be level on points, but it wouldn't be enough for Ross County.
Yeah,
so
they'd be down in goal difference.
They would be in the playoff spot in the goal difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, if St Johnstone win the game, Ross County, they've got to likewise win that game. But obviously St Johnstone have not won a game for a while, but that's a massive goal late on there, because it was almost done and dusted there, and they lived to breathe another day.
It'll be a lesson for Ross County, though. It's about managing the game when you get into those situations, and they've had opportunities. They've had opportunities to be goals up, and they didn't capitalise on that. And then when it gets into the latter stages of the game, it's a simple cross into the box. Someone's switched off. It's a concentration level. And you do just need to see out these games. You need to do whatever it takes. I know there was talk of them time wasting, but you do have to be able to be in the position to try and manage the game, see it out, because the importance of it is just massive.
It's going to be interesting, Alan Preston, to see the reaction from these Ross County players at the weekend, because it was such a sickener. As you've been saying, you just couldn't see a goal coming. Then on the 90th minute, Sidibe loses his marker, puts a header in, and it's game on. It's a test now, isn't it, for a very young, a promising manager in Don Cowie?
It is. It's going to be, you know, that for me will be a sickener for them tonight, because they had the game done and dusted. St Johnstone were never really in it, and I'm just looking at my notes there on it, and they had chances. Murray had a chance, Dandas had a great shot save, Harman had a header save, Mitov was magnificent once again. And you're thinking, you know, that St Johnstone, but they just kept going. St Johnstone, totally undeserved, and you know me, St Johnstone's a team close to my heart, but for them to get a draw and to still be alive for Sunday is a remarkable result for them. It really is. It's not deserved at all, but they've got it. And if they can beat Motherwell and Aberdeen draw with County, St Johnstone might just have that lifeline that may just keep them in it, but it's going to go right to the wire, and they won't have, whoever plays in it won't have time to rest players before the playoffs.
Yeah. I just wonder if mentally,
as I said,
Alan and Michael and
Theo
Jules.
Bears Motherwell.
Yeah, these games on Sports Sound on Sunday, the top half of the table comes to a conclusion on Saturday. Welcome back to listeners who've been enjoying commentary of Kilmarnock against Celtic. There was never any doubt in the game this evening. 5 goals to nil. Ida on 5 minutes, Maeda on 12, James Forrest on 35, and Matt O'Reilly, who was terrific tonight, 51 and 71 minutes. Our commentary team there this evening, Steve McGinn and Pat Bonner. Incredible scenes there, Pat. It must bring back a lot of memories for yourself. These are the occasions and nights that these players will never ever forget.
Yeah, and it's only when you retire, like an old man like me, that you look back in the good old days. Peter Grant's sitting in front of me here also. He's pretty old too when it comes to it, but we enjoyed our times, and when you don't realise it when you're out there, but certainly they are the good times, and you have to enjoy them. You've got to suck it all up, and because when you retire and they're gone, you don't have that again, and so yeah, and the players are enjoying it with the fans out there. It's a difficult one for Kilmarnock here, and I do want to celebrate also, and has probably been overshadowed a wee bit with the Celtic fans and the players away to their left-hand side, but they've done their lap of honour now with their own fans, and they should enjoy it because they've had a wonderful season too. So it's been a great night here. Celtic were fantastic tonight, I've got to say. This is good in the first half performance, up there with the Hearts game a couple of weeks ago. Moved the ball, emphatic and everything that he did, passing the ball, their movement off the ball, their quality in front of goal, just everything. Matt O'Reilly was sensational. The whole team was, I thought, really, really good tonight.
Just also, Pat, just picking out 2 players I can see on my screen right now. And we spoke to Peter Grant about Callum McGregor. What a player, what a man, what a leader. A huge association, a long association with the club, but also just seeing a man as well that you know, Joe Hart. He's spoken so much, hasn't he, about how special his time, his short time at Celtic has been.
Oh no, listen, he's been very, very good for them. His performance over the piece has been up there, probably 8 out of 10 most weeks, sometimes 9. He might have had a few mistakes along the way, of course, but I think what he's brought to the club from a leadership point of view also, I think that's very, very important, and that should not be underestimated, because Callum McGregor himself, those guys kind of lead the dressing room, and they're good guys with it. You know, they're not guys who you wouldn't want to be in company with. Anytime I've spoken to Joe, he's been respectful. He's talked about the game. He's talked about his love for being up here with Celtic, and I think he goes out on a high now, having a great experience, and he'll enjoy the cup final.
No doubt, talking about that, Tom English is back with us. Tom, we've been watching all the games come in here, but you couldn't get your eyes off Celtic in the opening stages of that game. They were absolutely fantastic. The movement, the tempo, the class in the end. Too much for killing the night, and too much for everyone else in terms of this league title.
Yeah, look, they produced arguably their best performance of the season tonight. They put in some good performances in pockets against Rangers, but that first half was absolutely exhilarating from Celtic. They were a blur of movement, goal threat, creativity, and I just thought they were a joy to watch in that first half. And they added 2 more goals after that. Matt O'Reilly, what a class act he is. A huge goal haul for him this season, and an assists haul too. So I thought they were absolutely terrific, you know, and it hasn't gone all their own way this season. They've had to grind for it. But wow, when they have to grind, they're better at that than everybody else too. You know, so they now enter the Champions League, re-enter the Champions League. It's enhanced riches in the Champions League. They made around 30 million last season. They're going to make probably well over 40 million this season because they're getting more games, they're getting more money, everything goes up in the financial sense in the Champions League. So, you know, in terms of glamour, in terms of riches, that's all in front of them now. This is a big night for them, of course it is. Anytime you win a league title, it's a huge night, but I think it means all the more because they really, really had to work for this. They had a lot of things that go wrong for them. Injuries, lack of form, their manager berating them at times, their own fans berating them at multiple occasions. They came through, they got the job done, and fair play to them.
Steve McGinn alongside you there, Stephen, a midfielder yourself. You must be full of admiration at the quality right now that's in that Celtic midfield.
Yeah, unbelievable. When you see them in full flight, as we've seen at the weekend and then tonight, they're just too quick for everyone in the league when they play like that. Even when teams are matching up with them man for man, they've got the quality to take it in tight spaces, manipulate the ball and some of the forward passes, and when they link up with the forward players, that's a Brendan Rodgers team at their best, and it was a real tough night for Kilmarnock trying to keep up with it.
Brendan Rodgers, Mike, I remember when the appointment was made, and there were Celtic fans who were on this programme who were unhappy at him coming back, as we said, because of the circumstances in which he left first time around. But and even through the difficult spells, you've been very consistent in this programme about the class of the man, and he would get the job done.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how anybody could disagree with it. I mean, Brendan Rodgers is a top-class elite manager. There is no doubt about that. He's done it everywhere he's been. You know, you've got to remember how close he was to winning the Premier League with Liverpool. Was it not for a slip from Steven Gerrard? And then he came to Celtic and took them to a different level. He's won trophies with Leicester. He had them knocking on the door a number of years for the Champions League when he was there as well. So there is no doubt that Brendan Rodgers is a top-drawer manager. And the one thing that will probably irk him is the fact that he's not been able to have a real impact on Europe with Celtic. So that is the next stage and the next challenge for him and for the club to elevate them to that stage where they can really go and have a real go at it. I just wonder whether next season, does the change of the format, does it help them, does it hinder them? We'll wait and see, we don't know. But the one thing is certain is that they're going to have to do a little bit of work to that team to get them into a position. But even if you look back at the results for Ange Postecoglou weren't brilliant, but the performances were pretty good. And even this season, from Celtic's perspective, there was a lot of games where big moments didn't go their way. Think back to, I think it was Lager Bielka that got sent off and it was a penalty kick early on. It was never, it was never. It was really harsh. And then there's all these little moments in games where it's not to say that they could have and should have been progressing further, but the margins were very fine. Now, if they get better quality into their team with a Brendan Rodgers in charge, I don't see any reason why they really shouldn't be looking to go and make a better go of it next season.
Peter Grant, we spoke about this before the game this evening about what market in terms of transfer Celtic we're working in this summer. How does it work? Will Brendan Rodgers know right now what he's got to spend?
I think you'll see the changes that's already been in the background. I think Lawwell going, I think that's a big plus for him because that tells me that Brendan's actually making the decisions now.
So Mark Lawwell, yeah.
How him going, I think that makes him say, well, this is my role. This is my duty to do that. Yes, I will listen to the background to the guys that's going to see the players and recommending players, but I will make the final decision on them. And he'll know the ballpark that he's got to play in. You were talking about Joe Hart earlier on. I think that's going to be the biggest position for them because you've seen the big problem they had trying to do it before to replace a goalkeeper, and it's such a vital position for the way Brendan Rodgers wants his team to play first and foremost. But the personality it plays in that, and I'm not blowing smoke up Packy here, but the concentration levels need to have to be a goalkeeper for Celtic. It's phenomenal. They maybe have one save in the game, and it maybe come in the 85th minute, or it maybe come in the first minute, they're going to win 5-0. Joe Hart's done that consistently this season. So replacing him first and foremost, so the goalkeeping situation is going to be massive to start with, and that's going to cost a lot of money for a top quality one. There is absolutely no doubt of that. So everything else that goes on about that. So Brendan will be making sure it's a goalkeeper that can play the way he wants to play. That's for sure. It can use the ball with his feet, obviously wanting with good hands for sure. And that's the levels he's got to start. So he's got to start for there, and then everywhere else he'll be putting the holes in and filling the gaps, and he'll be saying, well, I'll be wanting, for all top managers want to do, they want to have 23, 24, what they would call two teams ready to go on. If one player falls out of that position, I can put somebody straight in, and that's what Brendan Rodgers is looking to try and build.
Peter.
Or does he go another way and say, bang, I want top dollar for a central midfield player if I lose on Matt O'Reilly? Am I going to spend that 10, 12 million pound that we're talking about that we think they won't spend? And that's not been disrespectful, because I don't think that's the market we're in, you know. And that's not been disrespectful, that's just fact. That's what the usual £6 million we were bulking at that or whatever before. But for somebody to replace Matt O'Reilly with the assists and the goals, that's going to be massive if he goes. So there's a goalkeeper in Matt O'Reilly, two positions right away, that if you lose them, they're massive holes right away.
Kenny, just on Adam Maeda tonight, and I don't know what you think, Peter. We were on a different frequency. I didn't hear your commentary, but I thought he was sensational in the first half tonight. I thought his hold-up play, his link-up play, he scored his goal, just everything he did tonight in that first half showed me that there's a real player in there, and he's only a young man. He's only 23 years old, and you know, I would get that deal done now, because he's going to play, as I said in commentary, he's going to play the international games, I would assume, because Evan Ferguson is injured, and he's going to be playing against Hungary and against Portugal in the summer. And if he does well and goes into those games, that even might increase his value. So, but I thought he was sensational tonight.
No, I agree with you, Packy, and it gave us something completely different. As I say, Joe Hart went long a few times with the ball stuck. He started the first half, he was excellent, got his goal, and I've been really impressed with him since he came. I don't think he was left out of the team through his performance. He's missed a couple of chances, but all good strikers miss chances. But the thing I love about him, he likes to go back in. He likes to go back into the area.
Guys, sorry to jump in. Just we'll come back to this. Just a reminder. At 10 o'clock, we will be on Radio Scotland medium wave and on Radio Scotland X right through until 10:30. We'll get all the reaction. We will hear from the Celtic manager, Brendan Rodgers. Just the scorelines this evening: Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 5, St Mirren 2, Hearts to a terrific equaliser from Lauren Shanklin there on 73 minutes. Aberdeen had to come from behind at home to Livingston. Tete Yengi with a questionable penalty, you'd have to say, but 5-1 for Peter Leven's side there. Another goal for young Fletcher Boyd to get his first at the weekend. Hibs very, very good tonight, 3-0 at home to Motherwell. I can still see the pictures here. Paul Hand and Lewis Stevenson going round, getting a great reaction from the fans that are in Easter Road this evening. St Johnstone 1, Ross County 1. Late drama there. We'll hear from Chick Young. That was him in a minute. It's time to say goodbye now to viewers on the BBC Scotland channel. We are staying with you on the radio for all the reaction. Please stay with us.
This is